Welcome to the show. Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter.
Hi.
And
Welcome.
we are the show that aims to bring you all the information, regardless of what the other two hosts want from the show this week. We are strapping in for a good 7 hours, giving you all the information, all the respawn roundups, all the respawn rants. There may be some lore if there is a lore scribe that drops in at some point. He has mentioned it, but we can't hold him to it. So you may just have everything this week. There may be just a complete plethora of stuff to enjoy. So sit
Ooh.
back.
And we get $5 words. Look at y'all, man. I love it.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.
A show where we discuss tips, tricks, and tools to help all Guardians succeed and enjoy playing more.
What makes us different? Well, for starters, we're not streamers or YouTubers. We just have a passion for Destiny and are dedicated to keeping Guardians informed and up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 info, news, and opinions.
We encourage your questions and feedback. You can contact us either by email at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com or on Twitter at twotitans_hunter.
Now, on with the show.
So, Peroty, what's happening next week in Destiny?
You can enjoy a lake day at the Lake of Shadows Nightfall. Venture once again into the Shattered Realm, so please turn all the brightness on your TVs up all the way so you can see what's going on in the stupid Shattered Realm. There's bonus Crucible ranks all week long. You can hunt the pack when the Iron Banner returns and enjoy your bonus Crucible ranks. And also Mayhem comes to the Crucible. You know, Bungie, I think it's rude of you to put Mayhem and Iron Banner the same week, because then my allegiances are torn to what I want to go play. I love them both.
And remember, they've changed how they work the XP on that. It's just, isn't it just double now? And that's it across the board. It's just bonus.
It's
just
bonus.
Just bonus stuff. Yeah.
You get more. More is better.
So week 2 of our challenges, because they're back. So remember this? We did cover this when... No, never mind. Anyway, week 2 of our challenges, we have the Wayfinder Voyage 2. So use the Wayfinder Compass to complete Wayfinder Voyages 2. Also defeat Scorn with grenade launchers. And that's 100 grenade launcher kills. And you get the Canis Major and XP Plus and that. So that's quite cool. Then we have the Umbral Wayfinder 2. Use the parallax trajectory to focus Umbral engrams at the prismatic recaster in the helm. Open Wayfinder's troves in the astral alignment activity. So you have to do 6 Wayfinder troves and 6 Umbral engrams focused. And that will give you lots of XP as well. Then we have Leyline Secrets. Align beacons to discover trivial, enigmatic mysteries within the Shattered Realm. So trivial mysteries you have to do 10. 2 of the enigmatic mysteries and 6 beacons aligned, and that will give you some XP.
Ooh.
The Astral Lancer. Defeat combatants with linear fusion rifles. Combatants defeated in the Shattered Realm or astral alignment activities grant bonus progress, and you've got to do 150 of those. There's an Iron Banner one. Iron sharpens iron. Complete Iron Banner matches earn bonus progress for wins, and 15 of those. And that's challenge XP plus. Ooh. Drifter's Chosen. Now, Bungie, we've cleared this up for you several seasons ago. We don't want Gambit challenges now. We want them later on. Just give them all in 1 week. Just do the whole thing of Gambit. Maybe in week 3. Just do the whole week as Gambit, and then we can work on it for the rest of the season. Anyway, points by banking moats, defeating blockers, and defeating guardians in Gambit. 250 points. I think those go quite quickly. They're one of the kind of easier ones to do. It's when you have to reset your ranks 1 billion times that's hard. And that gives you a lot of XP plus. The Tangled Web we weave. On the Tangled Shore, earn progress by completing bounties, patrols, public events, and lost sectors. And you have to do 18 of those. Contenders Delve. Complete a lost sector on Legend or higher. Close range calibration. Calibrate close range weapons, sidearms, submachine guns, shotguns, and swords on the Tangled Shore. Bonus progress for rapidly defeating combatants, and you have to do 200 of them, and that gives you XP plus. And then Taken Eradication. Defeat taken combatants in strikes, and bonus progress for defeating tougher combatants, and you have to do 200 of those. So it's quite good that the Nightfall is the
Lake of Shadows.
The Lake of Shadows. That's the one. So go into the Nightfall and kill 200 taken. So that's your challenges for next week. Then we have the Eververse for next week, which has been kindly put into video form by Gaming Animal this week, which I'll link in the show notes. But if you want to have a kind of quick rundown, we have the Rochambeau which is the multiplayer emote. I have no idea what that means.
Rochambeau, you don't know what that
Rochambeau?
means?
No, because I'm English, I have no idea. What is it?
So I don't know what it actually means, but South Park, I don't know if South Park came up with it or if South Park made fun of it, because who knows. But in
Right.
South Park, Cartman says, "I'll Rochambeau you for it," and he's like, "What does that mean?" He goes, "Well, first of all, one of us kicks each other in the, and then the other one kicks the other one in the, and whoever goes down first loses. I go first, right? So basically, you kick each other until somebody can't anymore, and that's
The
what
text
South
line
Park
does. The
Go
text
ahead.
line does read best 2 out of 3, so maybe it's
it
along
is!
those lines.
Sounds like it.
So
Please tell me it's a multiplayer emote, because if not,
yes,
then what are
it
we
is.
even
It's a
doing here?
multiplayer emote for silver.
Oh my god, if that's a thing, that's gonna be so hilarious. I'm crying. Look, there's tears in my eyes right now. Please let that be a thing. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Do I have visions of using that and then otter dancing over my opponent? Yes, I do.
Right? No, you win the Rochambeau and then you throw the grave on top of the list.
Oh, that looks like a fun one to get. That's going to be for some silver next week. They at the moment, I don't think Today in Destiny has converted the silver at the moment to how much it is, but they're normally quite a bit, aren't they? Is it like about 1,000 silver for the multiplayer emotes?
A little
I
bit.
think. Yeah.
They tend to be pricey.
We also have the Queen's Guard exotic ornament for the chaperone, which looks pretty cool. We have the Wandering Wings exotic ship, also for silver, and the Junkyard Shell, and this is your exotic ghost shell, and that also is going to be for silver. Then we have our Bright Dust section. So you've got all those like concentrated matter gem, glimmer shards, scavenger's boon. No point in buying them, to be honest. Then we have the Galvanic Fork, which is the exotic vehicle, Sparrow. That's going to be for Bright Dust. They normally, how much are sparrows normally? Bring up your
isn't like-
Eververse for a second. Bring up your
Alright.
Eververse for a second, so we can have a look at how
Eververse,
much an
here we
exotic
go.
Bright Dust
Bright Dust.
Sparrow.
2,500.
Okay.
Sorry.
2,500.
Okay. How much for a rare emote? Because we have the embarrassed emote.
Exotic or rare? Rare is 700. Exotic is 3,250. Good God, that's more expensive than a sparrow. Holy moly!
We have a new transmat effect, the Chrysalis entrance,
Which is going to be 1,500. No, that's a projection. I lied. That's going to be 450.
Okay. Then we have the Neopop Wave, which is our shader for 300 Bright Dust. I remember that. I know how much that costs. The Rim Shot, the exotic emote, will be for is that 3,000 Bright Dust, or is that 2,500? Is it the multiplayers that are more, aren't they?
Multiplayers are more, yeah.
Then we have the Harpy Shell, the exotic ghost shell. The Magneton Thrust, which is your exotic sparrow. Then we have some class-based items. We have the Nieman's Cloak for the hunters. We have the Nieman's Mark for the Titans, and the Nieman's Bond for the Warlocks. They are normally about 1,500 for. Is that for the ornaments? Isn't it for universal ornaments?
1,500.
I think. It's either 1,250 Bright Dust or 1,500.
I can't tell you. There's no ornaments in the Bright Dust store. Oh yeah, there's 1,250.
Okay. I've refreshed the page, but nothing's happened. So we have a legendary emote, the Study Time. That's going to be. How much is it for a normal legendary emote? Did you say?
700.
And the Ashen Icon, which is the exotic weapon ornament for the Ruinous Effigy. How much are the weapon ornaments? Because we've got the
1,250.
1,250. And then
Yeah.
we had the Red Legion
That's
projection.
for an exotic. I don't know if that'll be for like a
Yeah.
legend, because sometimes we get the legendary
No,
one.
yes. The Red Legion projection for your ghost, and I think they're about 700 Bright Dust.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's week 2, starting on the 31st of August. Now, we have a kind of half a list this week for our lost sectors because it's up in the air where they've added some new lost sectors to the rotation, because we now have the Bay of Drowning Wishes, the Chamber of Starlight, the Aphelian's Rest from the Dreaming City now gone in. So they started the week with those. Now we've moved on to the Empty Tank Tangled Shore lost sector for today anyway, which is giving out the arms for the Titans and the Warlocks, if you want to kind of go and get the new exotics there. But they don't list what's going to be happening for the rest of the week. But we do know that, where are we? So that's going to be Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So Monday, the 30th of August, will be legs in your legendary lost sector and helmets in your master. So if you want your Radiant Dance Machines hunters, you go on then. The 31st of August will be the arms in your legendary, your legs in your master. The 1st of September will be chests in your legendary, arms in your master. The 2nd of September will be helmets in your legendary. 3rd will be legs again. 4th will be arms. And 5th will be chests. And if they do update with what the lost sectors are, I will put them in the show notes at the bottom and any guides for them as well.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
I'm still recovering from the whole Rochambeau thing. Like I still have an ear infection, but now it's in the other ear, and that made me laugh so hard that now I can in my ear. I mean, it's worth it, but Destiny, damn. Stop. Focus. Anyway, what are we doing?
We are
Where
talking
we at?
about the Witch Queen reveal.
Truth is a funny thing.
I thought we'd have a
reveal.
quick discussion on that. So I've broken it down. I did sit and watch the video for it was quite a short video, to be honest, for the actual reveal. It was only like half an hour. But there was a big lead up to it. There was about an hour's worth of art and videos that led up to it. Then there was a short interview with Luke Smith and Jason Jones, sat down and had a brief discussion about Bungie history, which was quite nice, just before we went into the Witch Queen reveal. Again, I will link the video in the show notes if you want to go and have a look at it, but they literally cover everything we're going to kind of quickly discuss here. Bungie literally say that the prologue for the Witch Queen is this season that we're currently in, the season of the Lost. And we're kind of, if you haven't explored it yet, there are kind of potential spoilers in this discussion. So just a brief thing. If you want to be spoiled, continue listening. And also the leaks that Not Arf posted to me last week, which I put in our show notes, reading that, the stuff that they've kind of released with Season of the Lost and what they debuted with the Witch Queen, most of that is true. So if you want to completely spoil yourself, go read that, and I will relink it in the show notes for this week. But just to let you know, we are working with Savathun this season, and it is basically the prologue to the Witch Queen. Although it's going to be about 6 months, so I don't know how long they're going to kind of progress this story out. But the big takeaway from it is that somewhere along the lines from now till we get to the Witch Queen, she's going to have Hive Guardians with powers of the light, like an army of Hive Ascendants. Just light versus light again.
I just had to put my application in as a Hive Thrall. I will start from the beginning and work my way up in the new Light Hive Army. I'm in. Let's go.
That's gonna be amazing.
It's going to be 4 seasons. So we were a bit unsure where they'd only mentioned 3 seasons prior with how they were going to do tuning. But they did confirm that there will be 4 seasons within the Witch Queen. It will be coming on the 22nd of February 2022. So it's 2/22/22.
Which Bungie, please, you can't move this. You can't push it back. It has to say 2/22/2022. Please make this happen.
What he said.
Yes. We are going to be visiting Savathun's throne world. It's going to be a light blessed world. There's a castle. She has a castle in it. That's really cool. Has a swampy
It
underbelly.
looks more like a bowl of nachos, like a nacho bowl
With a castle in it.
with a castle in it.
it.
Nacho
The
Castle,
Dorito
boy.
Keep.
There was a lone pyramid ship as well on her throne world that we're visiting in the swampy underbelly.
Just the one.
Just the one.
She
Just
keeps it
keeping
as
it
a
there.
pet.
Yeah.
She's got a single nacho inside of her nacho bowl. Bungie, you need to feed your artists because it's getting into the game. All right, it's getting a little unhealthy at this point.
Oh dear. We have our first look at our first-person melee weapon called the Glaive, which it looks fantastic. You can melee and then change it to like it shoots projectiles, which looks really cool. And that's introducing weapon crafting, which is coming to Destiny 2.
Yeah. It's also worth just reminding everyone this happened in February. None of this is happening now. This is all in February and beyond.
So with the Glaive, they do make note that they kind of want to give you ultimate control over the guns with combat focused crafting and progression system. So the more that you use the weapon,
The more powerful it becomes, is basically what the gist of it.
and there will be crafting at launch. So that would be available for all the Throne World weapons, the new raid weapons, and the seasonal weapons. Now, with regards to the raid, there is a Witch Queen page that they've set up. And if you scroll down on that, which I'll link in the show notes, they do make mention of this sunken pyramid ship that is in the swampy underbelly of this Throne World that is the location of the new raid. Unless they're kind of tricking us with what they're putting in this on this blog post, then that's going to be the new location. They didn't mention that in the stream, but diving through some of the details, I found that quite interesting. So this crafting is going to continue throughout the year with new and legacy weapons. And the campaigns are getting an overhaul, which is really fantastic. You know, there's going to be legendary challenge mode, which is going to be tougher. So respawns will be restricted, not our respawn, but respawns in the game will be restricted.
Oh goodness.
And if you spend your time doing it, your time will be rewarded for, you know, either solo or fire team, and it's going to scale the difficulty if you playing that, which is quite nice. With the Witch Queen reveal, they also went into detail of the next one's going to be Lightfall, as we knew, and then the unnamed one, which they said they were adding to the end of it, is going to be called the Final Shape. I wasn't really taken with the name the Final Shape. Did you guys feel does it feel a bit off to you guys, or is it just me?
Yeah, it felt off, but Jez kind of explained it a little bit because if you remember, we've had the triangle and then we've had the circle, and then he started making jokes about is the last one going to be a square? Is it going to be a rhombus to incorporate the two other shapes? Yada yada. But there have been shapes kind of, given to us in the past for certain things. So, yeah, I mean, the Dorito ships are all, triangles, obviously. And before that, everything that we did was a circle in one way or another. So
I was
yeah.
thinking maybe the Final Shape was something that we ascended to, or something that we complete from not actual shapes.
Well, I mean, but the way he explained
Why
it,
not
like
both?
he even said, this is what the shapes have been in the past, and I was like, holy crap, I never noticed. So who knows, man? Who knows? I don't know.
It's probably a little bit of both. Double entendre, except not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the shape of evil, the shape of things to come, the shape of our allies, what they look like, the shape of what we're gonna look like. Take it how you will. It's basically the end, and maybe they'll change the name of it between now and then, or maybe it'll make more sense between now and then. But yeah, it's just like I said, this is really them wrapping up 7 years of storytelling.
It'll be
That
10
started
years
in D1.
10 or 11 years by the time we get there, won't it?
Yo.
Well, right. Yeah, but they've been talking about this, light and dark saga that started in 2014 with D1. Like this is, this Final Shape is going to be the end of that story. So whatever this becomes.
But they did mention and beyond after that, so some form of Destiny is going to be after that, which is nice.
Just the next story.
So something else that they briefly mentioned in the reveal stream was the light subclasses are going to get an update starting in season 16, and every season in D2 year 5 will get a light base subclass update. So starting with Void, that's going to be the first one, and then hopefully it's going to go solar, and then we'll just leave Arc to the end. They're adding aspects and fragments similar to Stasis. but we're kind of getting to that when we go into this week at Bungie.
You will, and just like at the bottom of the Witch Queen, they tell you here's all the things you can buy and here's all the ways you can buy it. Also, in this week of Bungie, they've given us finally what we've all wanted for many seasons. Tell me what I want to buy if I want this, that, or the other. They break it down into very plain English, which I appreciate, and I have pre-ordered versus trying to go look at 6 different pages to compare all the things I could buy now.
Well, as we're talking about it, Peroty, why don't you tell us what we
Yeah.
get? Because they did mention there's a deluxe edition, and there's
Oh,
also something
what?
else
A
that they mentioned.
deluxe?
A deluxe edition. There's
A
also
deluxe.
something else that can be bundled with it, which we'll come into after Peroty explains what we can get and how much it will cost in US dollars and English pounds only.
Man,
'cause
I've already
I'm
spent
lazy.
$100 on the pre-order. I better have the good stuff, man. If I miss something, I'm gonna be mad.
You should, except for all the physical items.
Okay, I don't care
That
about
that should have given you all the game things. So,
good.
well, I won't guarantee you the dollar amounts because are those linked from this page, or do I need to go to this page? And will you
If you
show
look
me the
in the
dollar
show
amount?
notes-
Speaking of which,
look in the
is it
show
a
notes.
bug? Because when I did the pre-order,
Show
they
notes,
gave me
I
a
did a
bunch of
screenshot
stuff
for you.
right now. Is that a bug?
No.
No,
Okay.
there's stuff available today.
When you
okay.
pre-order it, you get emotes, emblems, etc.
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
You
there's-
pre-ordering.
you get an emote, an emblem, and a ghost shell.
There you go.
Okay, yeah. So if you're like, I want all the things, this is all the things digitally. This is not no physical items. This is I want Destiny 2's The Witch Queen with the 30th anniversary bundle, which we'll talk about it in a second. But this is Bungie's 30th anniversary, so they made a big deal about that at the reveal, and there's a whole 30th anniversary bundle coming with this that you can or cannot buy. It's up to you. So if you're like, I want everything, I want the 30th anniversary bundle, I want the Witch Queen, I want the season passes, I want to basically be set in Destiny for the next year. It's going to be $87.99 in British pounds and $100 US, and Australia like $400,000 or something for you all, because that's how money works. Now in D2, if you just for some reason you're like, the Witch Queen doesn't really grab me, but I want to just get that 30th anniversary pack, that's going to be $25 US and $21.99 British pounds. And that's just the 30th anniversary bundle, which we'll get into what that is in a second. And if you're like, listen, I don't need all these things, I don't need all the extra crap. Maybe I just want to go play trials, and I just need the bare minimum. I just want the Witch Queen. So if you're like, just give me that, just the Witch Queen itself is $40 US and some number of dollars UK, because he probably bought it and then couldn't see the price, because that's how the store works. Once you buy it, you can't see the price anymore. So basically, it's $40 if you just want the Witch Queen expansion,
Without
not all
the
content,
seasons,
not all the extra stuff. Yeah, not all the deluxe things. It's $100 if you want to buy all the things: the 30th anniversary pack, the Witch Queen, the seasons, the whole shebang. Or it's $40 if you just want to buy the 30th anniversary pack. I'm sorry, $25 if you just want to buy the 30th anniversary pack and all that contains. And then if you're really like, I need all the things, I need to have physical items to put into my trophy room, there are different console editions of this, only because this includes a version. Well, actually, there's a version that includes the game and a version that doesn't include the game. So it's 156 pounds, which is, I think.
So yeah, it would only give me euros.
Yeah, euros, pounds, whatever. So basically, there is a super expensive collector's edition. If you want to buy the, all the physical items, there's a hive ghost you'll get. There's a stand for that. There's a bunch of things and fancy knickknacks and whatever. There's a Steam version, Xbox, and a PlayStation version you can get with the game code, or there's a slightly cheaper version of that without the game code. They're still all like $100 plus, and maybe sold out by now. I feel like those always sell out like by the moment the thing goes live. But if you want to spend all the money, you don't need to wait for me to tell you, because you've already spent that money and you already have your Hive Ghost coming to you whenever you can actually get your hands on it.
So Golden wanted to flex on you a little bit, Demon. He says, my wife hates Destiny, but she loves me enough to get me the 250 whatever collector's edition. So he's flexing on you, bro.
Well, my wife loves me enough to get me it as well.
Did she?
No, I haven't asked her for it, but she
No.
would. If I asked for it, she would.
I'm gonna
She'd
need
hate
her
it.
opinion on
She'd
this.
hate it and she'd hate me, but she'd get it.
But you do it, and that's the important part.
No, I need to hear it from her mouth.
Okay. The one that you missed
Mhm.
out there is the Destiny 2 Witch Queen Deluxe Edition, which is $79.99, which gives you the Witch Queen and the 4 seasons.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm both irritated in how much they slice and dice it up, but also appreciate that they've sliced and diced it up. And the Witch Queen page does have a full breakdown of like what the standard edition, what the deluxe edition, what the deluxe edition with the 30th anniversary gets you, what it contains, what it doesn't contain. So yeah, if you're looking at this trying to read between the lines and figure out what you want to buy, and you don't have $100 to spend, you can buy things piecemeal.
Yeah. But the deluxe edition does include 2 new dungeons released in 2022, and they're remastering another classic D1 raid, which is going to be free for all players. But as we mentioned, there is a 30th anniversary event that is happening in Destiny 2, and this is going to go live on December 7th, just before Christmas. So it's like a little Christmas present for all of us. Free for all players, and it will contain Dares of Eternity, which will be the new 6-player match-made activity, which will have more secrets to be unraveled.
So where is our new dungeon going to be? Oh, the loot cave from the Cosmodrome.
Mm.
It's going to have an entire dungeon in that loot cave now, where you can earn cool new things like an entire Thorn armor set, and other lost relics.
Yeah.
And the thing that the internet exploded over that I have mixed feelings about is the return of Galahorn. So 30th, if you want the Galahorn, you're buying the 30th anniversary bundle. That's what the Galahorn's going to be. They're going to rework the Galahorn. They said lots of words that basically say, we're going to not make it super overpowered that will destroy everything. We'll see if that comes true.
Right.
Ready for all the raid things and whatever to be like, we'll take you through, but you must have 6 Galahorns. So at least you can buy it now, in theory, instead of having to wait for it to drop and hope for the best for 2 years.
So if you don't purchase the anniversary bundle, you will get the Dares of Eternity 6-player match-made activity. You'll get secrets to unravel, and there'll be rewards that commemorate Bungie's history, like ornaments for weapons and things like that. But if you want to purchase it, that will give you the exotic weapon that they've named as Galahorn, 4 emotes, an exotic ship and sparrow, 2 universal ornament sets, a unique helmet ornament, and the new dungeon, which Peroty has said is set on the Cosmodrome in the old D1 loot cave. And in the picture, you can see a little man in the background of Xur hiding there. We'll also have access to the IS Luna hand cannon from Destiny 1 and the 1,000-yard stare, which is the sniper rifle. Plus, the Claymore sword from Myth will also be there. So there's going to be lots of Bungie-esque type rewards, cosmetics, that some will be purchasable, some will just be earnable. It's just going to be a free-fall of what's going to be available.
Smorgasbord.
Yes, a smorgasbord.
All the things.
But starting with the 30th anniversary event, there will be a new piece of raid or dungeon content coming every 3 months, which was quite nice to hear. So it will give people a reason to go back in, apart from getting their Vex Mythoclast that some people still don't have.
Yep.
And then getting other things. They haven't said what the other things are going to be, but like if they did what they did with Destiny 1, where they made the cosmetic armors glow and do different things and just gave people a reason to go back into them and play them. So in 2022, there will be legacy rotations to dungeons and raids. Every week, there will be new ways to earn rewards in the latest and greatest content and raids and dungeons from the past. So there's a lot kind of coming down the tube from Bungie of what's actually going to be changing in Season 15. We're in the prologue season at the moment that slowly things are going to be changing story-wise. But they also just want to make sure that you're aware there is more Bungie loot that's going to be available. They did kind of showcase some of this. There's a Celestial Nighthawk hunter helmet, which looks 3/4 the size of a normal helmet. Because you remember those ones from Halo with the Master Chief, people desperately trying to get them so they could fit them on their heads, and they were just slightly small enough. You can fit them on a toddler, I think. Not that I've tried. I haven't got one, but just saying.
No, he definitely hasn't done that.
No. There's boots as well. They look pretty cool. Some like canvas boots. There's a fallen captain statue and an Arcadian jump ship that they kind of highlighted. So also in the Witch Queen reveal, they revealed Trials of Osiris is coming back, and that is going to be returning on the 10th of September. And the reason for that is because of Iron Banner is coming back next week. Yay! We get Iron Banner first. So with this, they made 2 points that they wanted to cover with Trials returning, and that would be anti-cheat with the Battle Eye being installed on PC, and matchmaking, and we'll come back to Battle Eye in a minute. With matchmaking, they wanted to make it easier for groups of players to get together or going in solo. So they've remixed the rewards distribution. They want to give all players the opportunity to earn some of the best weapons and coolest armor in the game. Winning individual rounds and completing matches will allow you to earn some of the rewards. Flawless chests will still be the only place to get flawless loot, adept weapons, and unique cosmetics. So, with that, Bungie have also published a page on the Bungie.net, which we will link, going into a few more details. So, basically, if you're a Trials novice, they've broken it down on what to expect on September 10th. They want to make Trials more accessible no matter what skill level or fireteam size, and they want to make Trials more rewarding whether you're winning matches or earning reputation with Saint 14. And they want to make Trials more engaging, testing out changes to elimination and reintroducing labs. Not Crucible labs.
Other
Labs.
different labs,
Yeah, it's different labs.
science labs. Will there be beakers? Will there be graduated cylinders? Will there be men in white coats? That's the question.
Yeah. So they're reintroducing labs back into Destiny 2. And for anybody that hasn't heard previous episodes where Peroty has gone on and on about labs, just give us a quick overview of what Crucible labs used to be.
Well, see, Crucible Labs used to be the thing where they would, go test out different things and say, hey, we have an idea. Let's put it in a certain playlist and call it a Crucible Lab with the understanding that, hey, this is a thing we're working on. It may be buggy, it may be weird, it may be totally unbalanced, but we're trying it out to see how it works with you, the guinea pig general populace. And it was great, and it was here for a brief time, and then they took it away and never spoke about it again until now. So it's nice to see that as they're rolling out these big changes to Trials, and sounds like, continuing to evolve how Trials works, aka make people want to play it that aren't Trials, PvP lords, they're going to bring back labs to hopefully try out some of these different ideas. Give us some different. I think they did a bunch of different like elimination game types at one point, sort of trying to figure out sort of like which one played best or which one people liked. Just sort of different twists on the same thing.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll actually continue to use it and not just bring it out for like 2 weeks at the beginning of the season and then never again. But maybe, you never know.
What I found interesting is that Alan Baines, who's the ritual lead, talked about Trials in this blog post, saying that they believe that Trials of Osiris is best for everybody. Now, it hasn't been the case for a long time, and they've kind of identified
Forever.
that, basically saying that there's been two populations of the pool. There's either been the people that have got flawless or bust, or the people that just want to get their 3 wins, jump off a cliff, and get out for the weekend, which is, I think there's a lot more of the let's jump off the cliff, because that is the majority of the player base, whereas the flawless or bust is, it is an exclusive club unless you kind of do recovs, which we will cover later. But yeah, that's not kind of been the healthiest part for Trials for a very long time, and we've kind of come up with ideas on the show for many a times of saying, maybe if they do this, maybe if they do that. But I think they're going to try and work it around doing the solo playlist or in doubles, so that you can go in as a pair and find somebody else to match up with. And they do go into some of the details on that. So their outline for a few of the development goals are get more people playing, doing something besides flawless or bust, and resetting their card once that they take that loss. Feeling that they can win more often, which would be nice. Feeling like that rewards are on par with other similar activities in the game. And embrace movement, conflict, and resolution during matches.
I'm not sure what that last one means. Are we supposed to talk it out with the other team at the end of it? But
Well, yeah, they're changing how the game mode is working, and then they're going to be, as we said, the labs is going to kind of take over and do something different. They're going to try different modes in Trials, which is interesting. Get a feel for it,
Trials
see if
Rift.
people like it.
Trials Rift, come on, Trials Rift. You know it. You know you want it.
Yeah. So the scheduling for this, first and foremost, Trials will be taking a short hiatus at the beginning of season 15. Not that short, realistically. I mean, it's away for the first week, and then it's it's away for it's away for 2 weeks. Yeah,
there's 2 weeks.
Sorry.
Which really, I mean, I think historically Trials has sort of taken a hiatus at the beginning of the seasons anyway, or they've had to disable, whatever new seasonal thing was completely broken for Trials. So it's probably for the best that they say, hey, no Trials week 1 or before the world's first rage, or World's First Rage. World's First Raid. World's First Rage has already happened long ago. And, just so they say so you can explore new content and features and tunings, and really, so we can see what's totally broken and hopefully try to balance or fix that before trials.
We can get in there before you have to play trials with it. That's basically what that means. I mean, their idea is to kind of maintain a healthy population, and it is always the first couple of weeks. There's always a healthy population of people that go in and try it and then slowly fall off. So I think trying to rework it is going to possibly help, and I think hopefully towards the end of season 15 they'll be able to see how this has kind of played out. They'd like to remove issues where players are torn between multiplayer PvP or endgame goals for a given weekend, so they're making the following changes for their future seasons starting this season. No trials in week 1 or before Raid World First. So that's good. There won't be people trying to clamour to try and do their trials before the raid drops to kind of get the powerful rewards. It'll just be do the normal stuff, do the exploration, and then you can kind of get into the raids. So week 1 should be about exploring new content, features, tuning.
Which new weapons and exotics are totally broken.
Yeah, as well as finding all that stuff out. No trials during Iron Banner, which is a big thing, I think. I think a lot of the trials players aren't going to like that because of the rotation of Iron Banner, possibly coming up 4 times in a season and longer. At the moment, we've got like 6 months until the Witch Queen drops. So they don't want to overlap limited time PvP events, and they're not good for the game, for the health of the population of PvP.
I really have to wonder if that's also so it gives them some time to implement some changes or make some changes to trials. Like they have sort of a week off to do something with it, or they say, overlapping PvP events aren't good for the health of the game. We want more people playing PvP and not have to split their sort of split the player base up between these limited time events. But I wonder if there's a little bit of, and we'll have some room to work on trials, so it's not like 1 week before we put a thing out in the world and hope it worked. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm always curious when they say, "Here's why we're doing this," but are you really? But we should definitely dig into some of these changes because they're actually. I mean, we were sort of. It's I don't know. It's what they've talked about, and we've talked about so many things on this show about what we would do to make it better. I think this, like they said, it sort of gives you a reason at least just to go play. You don't have to win. You don't have to care really about the outcome. But if you just play, you can get things.
Yeah, and I think them acknowledging that the bar feels too high to enter is a good thing because, like we've always said, we want more people playing it so that you can enjoy it. Who cares if you can't go flawless? But to get a weapon out of trials, which is really good to then use in normal PvP, is worth it. So
yeah, and there's so much good stuff that comes out of there. I've had a really good time going in and getting playing enough to get the 3-win reward because there's a lot of good weaponry that comes out of there that I wouldn't be able to get actually 3 wins on a card ever. But if I can go in and just say I'm going to trade you time for this reward, well, that'll happily do. And if I do succeed and play a little bit better that weekend, yeah, it's a little less of a time commitment. But at least I'm guaranteed to get a reward out of it if I put in the time. And that's the big difference from where trials used to be, where it would just be you go in and you would get nothing but frustration.
Yeah. And currently, the way that they work trials is that there is a minimum requirement of light to get in, and you have had to have done X amount of things in the game. I can't remember what it was for the previous couple of seasons, but it was to try and stop people from doing recovs and just doing like throwaway accounts and things like that. But they are going to reduce the requirements for the Trials Access quest to use lifetime Valor ranks and kills. So this should open Trials to more long-term Crucible dabblers. Trials now allows queues for matchmaking without a full fire team, which is really good. We want to allow more players to try the mode out and start earning rewards, even if they don't have a fire team. So you can play solo or with a friend, and matchmaking will fill in the rest of your fire team for you. Then they put a separate note saying freelance trials, no pre-made fire teams, solos only. So I'm guessing,
which is really interesting. I mean, I
this
assume
is
it's
a
going to be like Iron
separate
Banner.
node. Yeah, separate node like Iron Banner, and it says that'll be available via labs. So more on that below. Going flawless on your own will be hard to impossible, but we are sure someone out there will do it thanks to the other players that they'll match up with. Trials of Osiris now requires an annual expansion to play, which is new. Normally it used to be it was free for all players. Now you have to own Beyond Light to actually get in. So that's the annual expansion. So next season, when the Witch Queen drops, you will have had to own the Witch Queen to actually get in. And no, Xbox have confirmed that that won't be coming to Game Pass. You will still be able to use Beyond Light and anything older on the Game Pass if it still sticks around on Game Pass for Destiny 2. But the Witch Queen isn't coming free to play on that.
Yeah, and that seems like a good balance of you don't have to buy each new season to play trials. You just have to buy the big expansion. So, just like with Beyond Light, you've gotten what seasons, 14, 13, 14, 15, and the Witch Queen will encompass seasons, I think 16, 17,
16.
18, or 16, 17, 18, 19, something like that. So, you'll get basically for each big release you buy, that'll give you 3 or 4 seasons of trials with that. You don't have to buy each seasonal thing if you haven't bought the season pass or buy the seasons as you have time to play or as you care about them. Yeah, you're not having to put down that money every single time, which is a nice change.
Yeah.
And it does gate, like you said, it does gate besides, if you want to go in and be a trials cheater or whatever, you have to put some money down. You can't just spin up free accounts forever and move on with life. You have to at least give some kind of monetary commitment.
So, in the efforts to strengthen security around Trials experience, they're removing the opportunity for players to create numerous free accounts to circumvent cheating detection, bans, and restrictions. Some more on that below, and we'll go into that. So, over the last few seasons, they've been taking a look through player feedback, internal playtesting notes to target specific pain points. The following changes should help reduce stalling gameplay and snowballing behavior that makes it harder to catch up once you're behind. So, the round time is reduced to 90 seconds from 120. Stalling to wait for ability energy is not fun. So, for either winning or losing team, this will eliminate stalling, but lessen the amount of stalling that can take place. We will talk about other plans to help this further down the line in the article.
Right.
So
Emotes.
it's not going to eliminate it entirely, but at least there's less time now if you're fighting a team that's just screwing around.
I mean, they have mentioned this before.
They're not screwing around. Like it says, they're trying to build their super.
Right. Well, they are screwing around. They're not engaging you. They're running. They're hiding. They're hanging out on their side of the map. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a strat, cowardly one.
It's
but it's
not a strat anymore. So they have mentioned this.
Less of a strat.
They have mentioned this previously that emotes will now stay in first-person camera mode. Swords can't be equipped unless you have ammo. And if you do have ammo, once it runs out, you then switch back to first person.
Indeed.
This removes the ability for players to secretly peek around corners without putting themselves in danger. Special and heavy ammo no longer carries over between rounds, which is good.
That's a nice change.
Yeah, because we've experienced it in trials when we've played and we've picked up like special bricks, and then I've got like 6 in my Jotun from just the lucky kills that I got in the last round, and that doesn't seem fair. I should start with just the 2.
Yeah, it's probably also worth mentioning, the 3 peeking changes and the sword ammo changes also are alive in elimination and survival. So it's trials, elimination, and survival. Sort of all these are all tied together in how they've made these 3 peeking changes and whatnot.
Yeah, anything competitive. So it possibly could take place in Iron Banner, but we'll have to see how that kind of plays out next week.
I doubt it'll be Iron Banner change. I think it's just like the 3v3 trials style survival elimination type matches. Like I don't think they're bringing this to, because Iron Banner is 6s. I don't think they're bringing any of this to 6s.
Do you not see the irony in this though? They remove all this 3 peeking stuff, right? And the sword ammo and all this and that and the other, and then they literally hand us a gun that has wall hack.
No, but we'll come to that later. They're removing that.
Yeah, they're unwall hacking it.
Okay.
So they've also come to that realization and said, haha, we see your problem and we fix that one too.
Right?
Respawn, you're saying that they've just given us a gun that has wall hacks. There are wall hacks in the game already with a bow.
That's true, but you have
and they've been in there since the beginning. Well, since Forsaken anyway.
They're going to make you work for it.
You only have to be close to them to actually for that to work. Anyway, once these changes are live, they'll be watching the conversation to see what changes should be prioritized next. So if you do go and play trials, give them some feedback, positive, negative. They want their feedback, and it'll only help improve the game mode, to be honest. There's only so much moaning that the YouTubers can do that, that they will listen to. They want kind of general feedback from all players. So this is your chance. Go in, play. Don't just play 1 or 2 rounds.
Hey,
Try it every
you know,
couple of weeks and
here's
things.
some general feedback that just happened last night while we were in the raid.
Were
Right?
you playing trials?
No, but
Were you?
it's
No,
related
then
to
This is
trials.
feedback.
It is
It's not trials.
directly related to trials.
No,
Shush.
no,
Yes.
really
it's not
isn't.
trials.
It is. Neither one of you know what I'm about to talk about.
Okay,
So
go
how are
on
you going
then.
to tell me what it isn't? Thank you. The new boots, the dance party boots, right, have been disabled because you can get you super back in like 9 seconds. Now,
Just in certain
that
places.
is egregious. Don't get me wrong. That is insane. But it is my very strong opinion that Bungie does not need to nerf the boots because the problem isn't the boots. The problem is the damn mods
All the hunters.
associated.
It's all the hunters. That's what it is. Let's nerf the hunters.
It's the mods. You know what I'm saying? It's the mods.
So the raid is
mods so that you can't activate it back to back to back to back to back to back. Put a cooldown on the mods. So whenever you use the class ability, you have 5-10 seconds before you can activate the class ability to give you more super energy. What?
Because of your moaning. Did you complete the raid before you got the Radiant Stance machines?
Yeah.
Well, then what are you moaning about? Just get over it. Put on a different exotic. Move on.
they're not turning them off for the raid either. So
I'm
you
not
can still use
talking
them in
about
the
the
raid.
raid. I'm talking about they don't need to nerf or disable them because of the mods. They should be attacking the mods and not the exotic. But Bungie decides
Bungie
to
haven't
attack
done
the exotic.
anything to it. They haven't attacked
Yet.
the exotic. They've
'Cause
turned
they're
it
not
off
open yet.
in certain. They've turned it off in certain areas,
Mm.
just so that they can adjust whatever they need to adjust. They haven't even said whether they're going to adjust the boots or the
We
mods.
know where this is
So just
going.
wait until
We know
it
where
comes.
this is
They've
going.
just turned it off for Gambit and PvP. That's it. You can still use it everywhere else.
I know that, but we know where
Anyway.
it's going. It's gonna get nerfed.
Respawn. Are you excited
Yeah,
about trials,
yeah.
rewards, and reputation?
Actually, yes.
Good.
Yeah.
So, as
I
mentioned
thought-
above,
I thought that
Bungie
was
would
good.
like to give players more reason to play past 3 wins. As such, we're opening up more rewards to more players more often. So, Saint 14 will receive a full reputation overhaul and be
Oof.
gaining the ability to focus trials and grams to specific rewards.
There you go, Respawn. There you go. You don't have to deplete your pool anymore. You can go for just the thing you want.
Right? Yes,
Yeah.
I dig it. But it does still require individual match wins, and as we've discovered, is more difficult than it should be.
But if you can go in with at least one buddy or go into that solo queue, it at least feels doable. At least if you're queuing in solo, you're right back to whoever has the single best player on their team is going to win, and that person could be you. You have 2 chances to have that single best player.
Oh my god! I
in the
really
group of
hope
6 on
that
your
person
team.
is not me. Like for the sake of
No.
everybody on my team, I hope that
No.
person is not me.
I don't mean you're the
gosh.
single best person. I just mean you have a 1 in 5 chance of finding the single best person among that group of 6. If you can be matched with that person, you're going to win.
I hope so.
So
when
just to make
Grenadier Jake steps into your lobby, you're good to go.
Mm.
adept weapons will continue to require a full flawless passage to be earned. Saint 14 is getting new trials ranks, reputation, and reward track. So trials tokens have been retired, so you don't need to keep them anymore. Reputation is gained at match completions based on the number of rounds you've won on your ticket. Tickets track up to 20 round wins now, emphasizing winning individual rounds for the core rewards, giving every player more achievable goals at all skill levels. Since you don't have to win a full match to get rewards, you always have a reason to keep trying even if you are behind. Ranking up gives you a Trials engram, more on that in a bit. Powerful Trials engrams show up every 3 ranks before your first reset of the season. Just like other ritual reputation, there are other rewards to earn every 3 ranks. And Trials ranks has one of the unique Trials weapons at rank 10 and 16 for each of the first 3 resets of Season 15. And the reason it's the first 3 resets, so you can reset it 3 times, is because it's kind of across all your characters. And you can jump in and out of the cards via, if you want to play like 3 rounds on your Titan, then swap to your Hunter, it will carry on that card, which is quite nice. So Saint 14 basically looks like what Shax looks like, what the Drifter looks like, what Zavala looks like now, with different rewards on his tracks. Then he has his passages, then he has his bounties. So, one of the most restrictive things about prior trials system was the emphasis on winning, and winning often to get rewards. While winning matches will still pave the road for the Lighthouse, we're making some changes to let players enter the activity and earn the rewards without having to reset their passage frequently. Passage no longer tracks losses. A passage is either flawless or not. This allows you to keep playing and earning matches and round wins for the rewards. Players may continue to reset their passage after a loss, but are no longer forced to after 3 losses total. Passages can track up to 20 round wins. Passages have been reordered. Mercy is not super useful unless you're trying to go flawless, and have all their prices significantly reduced. Thank you. Thank you. Having to pay for that every couple of weeks when we wanted to kind of go into it and it not just, oh, it was just some weeks where I was glimmer poor. And yes, I was actually glimmer poor some weeks. I'd have to kind of sell ghost shells and things and then pull them back out once I've got glimmer and whatever else I needed to get them back out. But, you know, on some weeks, Spider's not giving me the glimmer that I want for the things that I've got. But, you know, that makes it a lot easier now. And
I
as I
believe
said,
you, but you're notoriously untrustworthy.
as I said, passages are now account wide, so you can play and earn rewards on any of your characters on the same passage. Each week there are 2 Pinnacle Challenges for trials, win 7 matches total on a given weekend, or win 50 rounds. Bonus progress based on the number of wins on your card, so 3, 5, 7 wins challenges have been removed. Once you max out your reputation, you can reset and claim an Ascendant Shard or an Exotic Engram. So Ascendant Shard is probably going to be like for all the others that you get for the first reset, and then the Exotic Engram after that. Like other ritual reputations, trials, ranks, and rewards reset each season. Additionally, we'd like to keep players going deeper into their cards rather than resetting them each time they lose a match. Match wins on the 7-win card have a chance to drop extra trials engrams, masterwork materials, and high stat trials armor. The Lighthouse experience isn't changing. A unique Pinnacle Adept weapon each week for the first time you visit on your account. So that's across your whole account, remember. All of the mods and cosmetics are available in the chest to reward return visits. Trials engrams. As mentioned above, we overhauled the Trials engrams to give players more direct way to earn Trials rewards. Trials engrams now equipped to random selection of current armor and non-adept weapons. You do not need to unlock a piece of armor or weapon before it shows up in the engram. You can focus your engrams at Saint 14 to decrypt specific items that you have already received. If you have gone flawless that week, you can focus on additional drops of the weekly adept weapon.
But expected to be a bit expensive. So you can do it, but it's going to take, something. It's going to take some materials from you. So, yeah. So you can farm it, but it's a sort of a dry, arid farm that doesn't produce a lot.
So with regards to matchmaking, they just want to kind of make you aware how it's going to work. So now you start matches with players that have the same number of wins on the card with similar trials game performance of the given week. That's going to be amazing.
I think we said that, didn't we? Didn't we say that? Well, we're taking full credit for that one.
I am. They have a bunch of different factors planned, and we will be watching and tuning these balances matches, quality versus matchmaking time. If matchmaking takes too long, it widens the similarity checks until it finds enough opponents for the match to start.
Yeah. And then, and then we're getting Trials Labs over the course of season 15. They're going to run a number of different Trials Labs on weekends, and they'll test targeted changes and collect analytics and feedback from you. So they will generally take over the entire mode for the weekend, so we can get as many players in as possible. So by labs, we basically mean we're going to take over trials, and we're going to do 3 things with it to start with. So they have 3 different labs planned for season 15. One is a capture elimination hybrid, where 1 capture point activates after 30 seconds after the round starts with an extended capture timer. The location changes each round as do the spawn locations. So you can basically, it sounds like you can capture the zone to win the round, or you can just kill the other team to win the round. Either way. And they believe that's going to help with the, curb the stalling and just, screwing around, trying to wait for your supers and stuff to load, because you can either kill the other team or you have to go capture a zone.
Doesn't that sound like King of the Hill with a bit of elimination in there?
It does, yeah. They're basically like, what did we make in Halo that we could bring to Destiny? And there's the Trials Freelance, where it's, as we mentioned, it's a separate node from the Trials activity where only solo players can queue. While they believe this is the right change in a vacuum, they're not sure if splitting Trials into 2 matchmaking pools is a good thing or a bad thing. So basically, they're going to say, we're going to run this test. We're going to see how it plays out and see how it works. Bungie, if you do these changes right and get people into trials, you can have 2 matchmaking pools and we'll all enjoy ourselves. And then they're going to do one weekend where players that have never played Crucible can enter trials, the no intro quest, which seems like a beautiful disaster waiting to happen. Bungie, buff some random weapon really, really crazily that weekend and let it be laser tag weekend. Just saying. I mean, it's a lab. Why not try it? So they don't have a firm date on when these things are going to happen, but 3 random weeks throughout trials this season, we're going to get the, we'll call it the King of the Hill style, your freelance style, and your no intro quest style. So maybe if there's a trials weekly challenge, by the time the no intro quest comes up, jump in and play that, because who knows who could be in there that weekend. Maybe all the cheaters, maybe all the people who've never played PvP before. It's going to be interesting, and I'm happy that Labs is back. Hopefully it stays around for more than 2 seconds, but we'll see.
Also mentioned in the Witch Queen reveal, they mentioned Battle Eye. So Battle Eye is being added alongside the update 3.30 today. So when you downloaded the Season of the Lost, Battle Eye was also installed with your PC stuff, and it's to boost the anti-cheating security and enable them to detect more active cheaters. They want it to be clear that this is not a silver bullet to fix everything. There will still be cheaters in Destiny. But Battle Eye will launch with automatic bannings disabled while they test the scale at the live game to ensure accuracy. Once they are satisfied with the results, they will allow it to automatically issue bans without manual review sometime before Trials goes live on September 10th.
Okay.
So
cheat now while you can. Make sure the system can pick you up. Then you get kicked.
So the anti-cheating solution requires some additional system resources to keep watch. So you may see reduction in frames and performance after the update 3.30 went live. So I'm struggling with the 3.0.
Just say the latest patch or the latest update or when the season goes live.
Okay,
you don't have to keep saying the exact version because no one really even cares or remembers.
Peroty cares.
I care.
No, he really doesn't.
What version are we on?
You don't care or remember.
So Battle Eye will also increase the initial startup of the game. Battle Eye's drivers only run while Destiny runs, and it doesn't stick around outside of that.
Yeah, fair enough.
They want to make you aware that some software is incompatible with Battle Eye, but will not cause bans. Battle Eye may block the software and prevent you from starting Destiny while the software runs, or kick you from the game temporarily if it detects the software after Destiny launches.
And is there a list, I'm assuming, or are we just guessing?
So
there's a whole Battle Eye FAQ that has, hey, if you're seeing this issue or if there's this thing, do this, and which we're not getting into because it's a whole bunch of go into your computer, make sure the service is running. If you're on a PC, this is the world you live in. Figure it out. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff where, hey, if you're seeing this error or this problem, here's how to fix it. There's a whole FAQ they have linked on their security update, Destiny security update page.
I will link it in the show notes. But just to kind of give you a quick overview of some of the things, Bungie defines win trading as intentionally granting other players to win in PvP activities. This includes, but not is limited to, manipulating matchmaking by any means to force matches with specific opponents or coordinating with opponents to provide uncontested victories. They're now targeting players for bans who are actively engaging in win trading. So don't do that, guys, because that has been a thing in the past. With trials, there was something in Asia, wasn't it? On the Asian servers, they were doing that. Also, account recoveries. Account recoveries are when players give someone else their information to access the platform, account, and control of their Destiny characters. This is not only puts your account at security risks, but it can also have an adverse effect on others players in the game, especially in competitive matches.
So people like Astacross and Fallout Plays and whatnot will use other people's accounts that have got a quote-unquote god roll for review. Does that fall under that category?
No, because they're not
trials.
They're not doing competitive gameplay. They will go into normal games and maybe test the weapons out, but they won't necessarily go and use it in trials and cheat and get banned, kind of thing.
Yeah. Or maybe this does put it into it, and instead of, hey, I jumped on their account, it's, hey, so and so sent me footage on this. Yeah. I mean, maybe it does. I mean, we'll have to see how it plays out. I mean, they do. I just had to laugh. They do have a list of things of, not recommended. What could happen and what'll get me banned?
Yeah.
So Nitedemon, what's not recommended but won't get you banned?
If I let Phoenix grind out some lost sectors, play some PvP or Gambit, force the child to complete my Gambit for the season.
Oh, so child
I could-
labor laws. I
It's-
gotcha.
I can.
Yeah.
It's not recommended, but I can still do it, so that's good.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's what's important.
If I ask my cousin, I don't think I would, to recover my account to check Zer because I was stuck at a wedding with no internet. You can still do that. My roommate and I share all the accounts on the console. That's still fine. They let their friend borrow the account to try out a weapon roll. There you go. See, answered. You can still do that, but it won't get you banned. What could get you banned though, Peroty?
Well, we really don't want to charge others to recover their account for boosting, earning items, or completing content. So, no paid account recovers. Recovering accounts for anything valuable, but not limited to Patreon supporters, subscribers, followers, gift cards, etc. Basically, any sort of payment for account recoveries. Paying someone to recover your account.
Get paid. Does Bungie have access to our bank account now? Are they paying to the IRS? How are they going to know if you get paid? Or
because you're advertising those services somehow, and then they're seeing your account being accessed from a different place. Paying someone to recover your account, having to be boosted to have items, etc., and boosting recovery is done for free can also result in bans or restrictions. So basically, don't give other people access to your account is the long and short of it. Give access to your kids, give access to your roommates, but not other people out in the world because you'll likely get banned for it.
They can't track the roommates or the child. So if your child is a PvP god, which is what I'm trying to train Phoenix up to be,
right? I mean, I don't know why he's not there yet. 16 hours a day seems a little excessive, but I mean, I'm sure it's fine.
That's
So-
allowed.
We need sleep. We need ranks in Crucible.
Yeah. So what could happen if I pay someone to recover my account? Well,
You
a
bet.
temporary or permanent ban may be applied to your account if you're using paid recovery services. You are responsible for the security of your account, and bans applied if someone else is detected cheating on your account. Will also cheat on your account or accounts benefits from being in a fire team. Basically, so even if you and your account are not cheating, if someone takes your account to find his cheater buddy and they go and cheat, you are still affected by it if the cheater's in your fire team and your account was recovered by someone. And Bungie will not recover any lost items progression, or if the person you share or service you shared it with deletes everything up to and including your entire character, your account, and comes to your house and raids your fridge. So this is not a comprehensive list, but basically don't do it.
Bungie, I've got a question. If my wife manages to figure out how to delete my characters,
Bungie is not responsible.
No, but is there any way that I could get it back?
Nope.
No, not responsible. This is
just
not a
in
comprehensive
case.
list of all circumstances. But I think that is a ban from your wife, which is outside the purview of Bungie and BattlEye. So
Maybe my wife will start working for BattlEye.
Two-factor authentication is important. Why all wives haven't started working for anti-cheat just so they can stop their husbands from playing, I don't know yet. But here we are.
Yeah.
My wife actually plays. She just blames it on me that I don't turn it on for her. Like, are you serious?
There you go.
But no, that last thing I actually don't agree with, right? Because
What?
you can't
don't you
always
agree with?
tell
Which
don't
last
when
thing?
you have a cheater in
All
your
of the
lobby.
last thing.
Well, yeah, but it has to do with account recoveries.
No,
It's-
but he said if you're
if
in
you're-
a lobby with a cheater, it still counts against you.
Who said that?
You know, he did.
He did. He did.
That's under the account recoveries section. You are responsible for the security of your account, and bans will be applied if someone else is detected cheating on your account, or if your account benefits from being in a fire team with other cheaters. So if you're in an account, if you're in a game with people who are cheating, leave the game. Leave the game. Don't associate
That's
with
what
those
I'm
people.
saying, though. How do you know that they're cheating? It's not always obvious. Because because on PC, Kittens and somebody else that we play PvP with, he's one of those sliding sniping gods that if I was playing against, I would swear that they were cheating. You know what I'm saying?
There's a difference to engaging the other team and to load into a match, and there's a guy already hovering above you, hitting you with heavy ammo, or a fully automatic sniper rifle. I'm sure there's a case to be made if you are with someone who it is not obvious they're cheating. Bungie is not out to ban everyone from this. This is good. Yeah, there may be a couple people who experience this problem. It's not like they're going to blanket ban everybody who's in an account with cheaters if it's not obvious. If it's obvious the person is cheating, I'm going to say likely you're aware of it. But if not, I don't think you're going to. It's not like they're going to ban you for it immediately. It's not like every instance of this is immediate and outright ban.
And if you're in the lobby, or did it say lobby or team before I get into
Fire team. Fire
Okay.
team.
Disregard them.
Yeah, so it could also just be if you're solo queuing with a cheater, you're not responsible. If you're in a fire team with the cheater, then you are knowingly rolling with that cheater. So I'm assuming the answer to your question that's where they're going.
Yeah.
If you're in a fire team with them, then they assume you're here under you're here willingly, whether it's you or your account recovery guy, you are here willingly.
Yep,
And thus sucks to be you, bro.
Yep.
But
You
now,
did earn it.
now it's time to talk about this week at Bungie. So I'll hand it over to Peroty.
And we've made it to this week at Bungie. Good job, us. We've done good work.
We have done good work.
This week at Bungie, first, if you're sitting here going, I had to work, I just woke up from a coma, I was just quarantined, and I haven't had the internet, and going, what in the world just happened? This week at Bungie has a full recap of, the Witch Queen announcement, Season of Lost being live, 30th anniversary, the fact that they mentioned, oh, by the way, day one, crossplay is live. Day one, we tried to warn you, Respawn warned you last week, said, guys, crossplay is not going to be live day one. It's going to take some time. Don't expect it. And then they were like, oh, by the way, we're going to bring it live day one.
And we weren't wrong about that, by the way. People were like, oh, you were wrong. Like, no, Bungie told us flat out, in no uncertain terms, it was not going to be available.
We don't make this stuff up. We read literally most of the stuff verbatim to you guys.
Yeah, no,
which really irritates Peroty.
At no point did they say you're going to have a day one. They were trying to say, oh, it's coming in the season. It's coming in the season. They never said when until they could go, oh, hey, it's day one. So they could go, oh, hey, it's not day one if it wasn't actually ready yet.
Yeah.
So they tease all those things. Also, the partnership with BattleEye, Anti-Cheat. Again, they're still looking for people, report potential cheaters. They give you a contact form right there to report cheaters on the TWAB. Update the security policies like we already talked about with the win trading and the account recoveries. The whole page about trials. They talked about basically the first quarter of this week at Bungie is here's all the other things we told you this week. So we didn't have to write 400 lines of it here. They've also updated you on the ongoing Team Rubicon and Direct Relief charity efforts. If you have not donated the $25 and or bought your victory gives the City Hope Guardian Shaxx t-shirt, I don't know what you're waiting for. I bought mine. You should buy yours. Make it happen. There's a number of delightful emblems. You can do that up until September 1st at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. So really, as this comes out, we're almost there. Almost there, guys. That's Wednesday. So, but on Tuesday, the 31st, when the game resets, you should also reset your wallet's amount of money by both pre-ordering the Witch Queen and giving money to charity, because those are all the good things. And then they talked about, when Nitedemon alluded to earlier, our big Void update for light subclasses starting in season 16. So in the Witch Queen, not now, not this season, not until February. They talked about what they're doing with our light subclasses and told us what they're doing with the Void. So Sandbox Discipline lead Kevin Yanes and gameplay designer Samuel Dunn jumped in here to tell us sort of what their plan was, where they're going, what our subclasses are going to look like. They did say there will be no new dark subclass with the Witch Queen or through year 5. Mm-hmm. So Stasis is going to be our dark subclass from now through year 5. Also, there are no new stasis aspects or fragments arriving with this season of the Lost. So they didn't say no new aspects or fragments going forward, but we're not getting additional dark subclasses yet. They're really, instead of saying, they basically say we think the number of subclasses in the game at this point are good, and now they want to work on balancing those subclasses and bringing the light subclasses up and giving them aspects and fragments, basically giving them all the technical cool stuff that stasis can do to those light subclasses. So they're starting with a balance patch coming this season, and another one will be coming, they say, with the 30th anniversary release in December. I don't think it's part of that release. You don't have to buy that release, but it's just they're going to put it out when that event launches.
Yeah. The one thing I'm looking forward to is Titans. I hope you guys get your Ward of Dawn or what's it called? The aspects in D1 that you could put on to increase the orbs your bubble drops
Mhm.
whenever it's getting
Yeah,
shot. What was that called?
Yeah, when they took damage. I don't remember which thing that was called, but yeah, the thing that everyone ran in raids because as your bubble took damage, it just dropped orbs onto everyone
Yeah.
below. It was wonderful.
Y'all 100% need that. 1,000%. And if it's available, put it on. Never take it off. That is your new subclass. You are going to be Bubble Titan from now until the end of Destiny. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I have no problem with this. So they did say, they're basically calling this Void 3.0. So part of their example changes and their goals around this is Respawn. This should be music to your ears. A
Yo.
reduction to how many one-shot kill abilities are available in the Crucible.
Yo!
So we'll say that for the people in the back. A reduction to how many one-shot kill abilities are available in the Crucible.
And I really hope that includes Titans. Not just Hunters
It's
and
going to be
Warlocks.
exclusively Titans, I imagine, more or less. They also want to make a big shift in super energy regeneration, so players are rewarded for participating in combat versus waiting for a timer. So they say later on in year 5, we hope to share more information on what we're doing, but they're also looking to making ammo generation more deterministic and consistently paced across all activities versus, you have no ammo, then you have ammo, probably in line with the first change of primary ammo is no longer a thing. It just doesn't exist anymore. It's unlimited forever. So yeah, so again, not here yet, but this is the direction they're looking. This is the changes they're looking to bring about in these light subclass reworks.
I mean, you'd think it would be just as easy to kind of turn it off in PvP and leave it on in PvE. So you get your super regardless in PvE of the time frame, but if you turn it off in PvP and it's only where you get the kills, it will just be the people that get the kills that then suddenly get the supers that win steamroll. So it's kind of an evolutionary kind of thing that they can't kind of just turn it off and on kind of thing. So it's
But speaking of things that they've turned off, oh my god, I was so happy to hear that you cannot take special ammo between rounds anymore in PvP. I
In
was like, thank
trials.
in trials. I was like, thank
Trials.
God, because
Oh, because
once
you
that
played a lot of
one,
trials.
well, no, well, yeah, we kind of did, and then that one guy that's a sniper guy just
Yeah.
every round, man, he gets more and more
or a
and more and
shotgunner
more.
or
Yeah.
whatever it happens to be. Yeah. So Sam Dunn does say they are looking at obviously Void subclass, Void, Solar, and Arc to do their new subclass 3.0 system. Sorry, 3.0 system, which is used by Stasis, where you can pick and choose from a selection of supers, grenades, melees, aspects, and fragments. So basically, all the customization you have in Stasis now, that's what you'll have in Void available in the Witch Queen. So the Void's the first one they're doing. That's what subclass 3.0 is, or Void 3.0 is going to be Stasis style things. And now, sort of like they've done with Stasis, where you have a slow, and freeze, and a shatter, sort of the verbs they use to describe what you can do with Stasis, they're sort of taking that idea and really, laying it out in Void. So in Void, we're going to have 3 negative statuses. We're going to have suppression, where the target is knocked out of any active abilities and can't activate anything and slows them. The affected AI combatants also can't shoot their weapons. We're going to have weaken, where the target takes increased damage and has their movement slowed. Enemy AI has decreased weapon accuracy. And volatile, where the target is afflicted with unstable void energy and will explode upon taking damage or on death, which is good fun to strap explosive volatile things to people's chests to make them explode. It's good times. So with those 3 negatives, we're also going to have 3 positive effects, which is the Void Overshield, a protected barrier of Void Light, which reduces damage taken from combatants. Invisibility, you vanish from sight and don't appear on the radar. And Devour, you feast on the enemy of your foes, kills restore you to full health, grant grenade, and extends Devour. So, I mean, those are things we sort of have in the game now, but they're calling out like, hey, here's sort of how we're using these, and these are the ideas that we're going to use to describe these features going forward.
So do you think these
And don't
3
be like
positive...
Acid Frost and think that Titans are not going to go invis, Hunters are going to get overshields, and no, that's not what that means. Everybody still gets their own stuff.
Well, no, that's what I was
Right.
going to say. Do you think that these are going to stay primarily with the Titans, the Warlocks, and the Hunters. So
I
suppression
sure hope
and
so.
void overshield stick
I do
with
not
the
want an
Titans.
invisible Titan shoulder charging in PvP.
Weaken and
Absolutely
invisibility is for the Hunters, and devour and volatile for the Warlocks. Or do you think it's going to be mixed and matched?
No,
As-
God, no, no, no,
Well,
no.
I mean,
please,
Well,
I
no,
mean,
not necessarily
there's-
saying
there's-
that Titans get invisibility, but maybe Titans there
Yeah,
is
no,
a
like
node
it's
for
supposed to
devour
be-
instead. But you know, like we had initially when we had Destiny 1, we only had
that'd
the
be
two subclasses. We
Mhm.
had, what was it? It was Arc and Void for the Titans. It was Arc and Solar for the Hunters, wasn't it?
No, we all
and-
had the same elements, dude.
No, no, you didn't. You only had two. When
yeah,
Destiny
but we
2,
all had
when
the
Destiny,
same two.
no, we didn't. When Destiny first launched, it was a rotation. Titans only got Void and Arc. Hunters got Arc and Solar, and Warlocks only got Void and Solar.
Solar?
Yes, because when you had to do the quest to pick up your third subclass, Titans got the hammers, Hunters got the bows, and Warlocks got the lightning.
God,
Do you remember that? So
oh wow, that was a long time ago.
maybe they're going to mix and match it, similar to how you can get two of these on a subclass. So Titans maybe get the suppression and the void overshield, but they also get devour. The Hunters get invisibility, avoid overshield, but volatile as well. Something like that. They kind of mix and match. So you don't get access to all three, but you get a selection that maybe does something else to enhance the gameplay.
Tell you what, hunters really could use overshields. Tell you what.
Well, I'll tell you what the Hunters are going to get, because
What's
they
that?
do call out a little bit of the changes. So your Shadow Shot, your Mobius Quiver Super,
Yes.
it's going
Is
to
that
fire
the one where you fire multiple arrows?
Yup.
where you have to fire each arrow in, and you're dead by the time you
Guardian
get.
down.
Basically, they're like, we don't want you to have to hit the button 1,000 times. So now you're going to fire.
It's not just that, but like, okay, so the problem isn't only the fact that we're in the air and a target the entire time,
Mhm.
but you drift, right? Depending on which direction and how fast you were moving upon super activation, you can drift very, very far off map. Very
Or
far.
into walls, into columns, behind things.
Kinds
Yeah.
of stuff. Yeah. And so what they're doing now, guys, is you get 2 shots, and each shot fires 3 tracking arrows. Let me say that again, guys. Tracking arrows. Oh, when I heard the word tracking, I was like a kid in a candy store. Thank God. Because gone are the days of you trying to track down a freaking guardian and trying to shoot ahead of them or whatever.
Question, though.
Just
Does it
Ah.
activate as soon as you kind of pop your super? Because that's one of the bugbears with the tether, isn't it? That you fire it and it has that split-second delay of actually activating.
Well, there,
they
I
don't
mean, there's
specify
still be
that, but
there's still
if
be
you
the
shoot
animation,
somebody with
but-
it does activate immediately. So if it's tracking and the tracking hits an enemy and immediately deploys, that's still good. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. Question is, how strong is the tracking?
Well,
Sorry,
I mean,
Peroty.
basically, no, I mean, when I read this, I basically read this as like you're going to have the Shadow Shot version of Anarchy. You're going to have 2 volleys of 3 arrows where you can just, make this cone of void that is going to tether your enemies, make them volatile, and deals increased damage to tether targets. And the volatility is the, basically what the Titans can run today on the mid-tree subclass, where you strap void detonators to people's chests and make them explode, and everything bad happens. I don't know if do you have volatile as a hunter today? Like, do you have a way to strap that void energy to people and then make it explode on impact?
No, we
or
have
on melee
weaken.
or whatever it is.
We have weaken.
Okay, so yeah, so at least like I said, the volatile is on a Titan middle tree today. So maybe this answers 19's question of are we bringing these to other characters? So yeah, maybe. So the hunters are at least going to get volatile on their Shadow Shot, and you're also going to have a stylish executioner aspect, where when you defeat a weakened, suppressed, or volatile target, it grants you, the hunter, invisibility and true sight. And after performing a stylish execution, your next melee attack, while invisible, also weakens enemies.
We'll see how
Just
long it
sounds
takes
like
that
fun.
to get nerfed.
I mean, that's just one of whatever aspect out. And they haven't said if it's going to be, hey, we're going to start with these aspects, or if they're going to be similar Stasis-esque quests to go and unlock these, or to go, get them one by one each week or something.
Mm-hmm.
So on the Sentinel Titan, the shield toss projectile melee, where you hurl your shield towards the enemies, the shield can ricochet off enemies and surfaces, granting you a small chunk of void overshield for each enemy hit. So basically, you can lob your shield at people and get a tiny little bit of overshield with each hit. And with that, they're going to give us the Overwatch aspect, which is you cast your void-empowered barricade to grant a void overshield to yourself and nearby allies. The empowered barricade slowly regenerates the void overshield of allies bunkering behind it. So if you
I
need
like
to
that
dig
idea.
in, get yourself a friend who will give you a nice little overshield where you can hunker down and wail on enemies.
Ooh,
The shield
that would
toss-
work really well with the ramparts where you can shoot through them.
Mm-hmm. Our Voidwalker Warlocks are going to get their Pocket Singularity, a projectile melee, where it launch a tracking, unstable ball of void energy that detonates when it's near an enemy, pushing the target away from the blast and making them volatile.
I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with the Warlock having a tracking, exploding grenade.
Tracking, exploding melee that shoves you off a ledge and straps a detonator to your chest.
Wow.
Got one with
Seems
solar now,
fun.
so what's the
And-
problem with the void one?
Fun and exciting.
Because they have a solar one now. I'm already wildly uncomfortable with that one.
Well, it sounds like, the Warlocks are just the child of the gods, which is an aspect they're going to get, where if you cast a rift, you will summon a sentient black hole, which hovers at your side, waiting for a target. It
I
will
did
launch
see that.
itself at enemies,
is
then
nuts.
begins siphoning their energy and weakening them, refunding their life force back to you as either grenade and melee energy if you're using healing, or health if you're using empowering. Defeating enemies who are being siphoned by the child will refund some rift energy. So not only do Warlocks get Arc Buddies, they get Void Children.
No,
And the
they
Void
get
Children goes num
sentient-
num num
no,
num 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 num.
No, Void Children is really underselling this. They get
Sentient
sentient
black
black
holes.
holes. Okay? Void Children makes it sound innocent and playful. No, this is a sentient black hole. This thing will eat your planet and chase you to the next one. Okay?
Look, would you rather them have this
What's not
or
playful
be able
about
to
that?
self-revive?
Self-revive.
No, you wouldn't.
Absolutely self-revive.
That's why it's out of the game now.
Depends.
No,
Yeah,
I would absolutely self-revive. Because when you kill them and you don't get the points for it, you're like, wait a minute. They're going to pop back up, so you can wait for them with a rocket launcher, grenade launcher, whatever. Yeah, go ahead. Do it. Do it. Do it. I dare you. Do it. Do it.
Keep peeking. Keep peeking. Just keep peeking. So that's the end of their sort of official tease. They do say, have you ever wanted to run Spectral Blades and Vanishing Step, Word of
Mhm.
Dawn and Controlled Demolition, Handheld
Mhm.
Supernova and Devour? There's a lot of new possibilities. And as we get closer to the Witch Queen, Bungie will tell us in future TWABs what we can do and how we can mix and match things. So to answer Nitedemon's question, yes, it looks like we'll be able to bring, these sort of void trades that were currently sort of only on one class, two different classes going forward with the fragments and aspects. And friends, if you haven't linked your Prime rewards at this point, I don't know what you're waiting for. Amanda Holiday needs to hold more loot for you. And this week, she can hold for you the Wordcliff Coil Exotic Rocket Launcher, the Diesel Punk Exotic Ornament to go with that rocket launcher, the Eon Drive Exotic Sparrow, and the Lost Legendary Ghost Projection. So who would like to tell the fine people, what is the Wordcliff Coil? What does it do and why do you want it?
It is a rocket launcher that, depending on your RNG, may obliterate your enemy or kill you based on a rock that you're too close to.
Or both.
Often both. Yeah.
It shoots all the rockets. All the friends' rockets, all your enemies' rockets. It just shoots all of them.
But it doesn't
So-
shoot them like straight forward. They come out and then start to, quote, track, right?
It has
So if
many
there's a rock
holes on
to
the
your
front of
left
it. It's a
Or to your
sphere,
right.
with
and it
many
hits one of
holes on
those
it.
rocks to your left.
and
or
you
to your
never
right.
know which hole it's going to come out of. It just fires randomly in all directions. Sometimes it tracks people, sometimes it doesn't. But that's the attraction of it. You can possibly get it to kill everything.
You like Las Vegas? You like gambling? Then here, let me show you the Wardcliff Coil.
Oh, yeah.
You might kill your enemy. You might kill yourself. You might kill both. You might kill nothing. Who knows? Try it out.
So, Peroty, have you lost your mind yet?
I hadn't, and then the season of the Lost My Mind came up, and now it's gone. Because I'll tell you, there's cocoons, there's urchins. I don't know what's happening. So when Season of the Lost was released, Destiny player support saw an increase in players receiving the error code urchin after completing. You see, lost my mind. After completing the Season of the Lost mission cocoon. So when you finish the cocoon, you receive an urchin. It's not an urchin you want. It's more like a straight urchin that takes all your money and runs away. So this is occurring when players are obtaining a new quest step with a full quest inventory. So for the love of God, people, don't have a full quest inventory. Leave some room for your cocoons, or you're going to be infected by urchins. Just don't do it. So basically, if you're seeing the urchin error, make some room in your quest log. Delete those things you're never going to get around to finishing. Never going to do it. Just make some room. You can pick them back up later if you feel like finishing those. Just give yourself some space. And there's a new season. And you know what comes with a new season?
Stuff.
You know what we're going to have? Stuff.
Issues.
Broken stuff. Some players on PC are unable to launch the game due to missing an unknown file. What are they missing? It's unknown. In addition to the urchin errors in the mission cocoon, players on PC may experience game crashes.
Oh,
Sorry, PC
talking
guys.
about that. No, that happened to me. And here's how you fix that.
Were
There's
you
another
playing
one.
on PC?
Yes, there's
just
another one
checking.
that gives you a write error, right? And I was trying to do it. I was trying to play at the airport with the clan because we needed to do a raid, and it kept telling me cannot start Destiny because of a read write error, right? And it drove me nuts. I followed all the steps that it said to fix it and everything like that, and none of them worked. And finally, like, my IT kicked in, and I was like, all right, well, what's the file you're having problem with? Because it tells you where the file is and what it's called. So I went to that location, and turns out there were two of that same file. You delete the one that it had a problem with, and you were good to go, dude. And I was like,
How do you know which one you had a problem with?
it tells you.
Did it have a drinking problem?
Probably.
Well,
But no,
this
it tells
is
you.
an unknown file. So yeah, if you know the file, you can address it. If you don't know the file, then don't know what to tell you. If you're going to open your armor synthesis screen with a piece of faction armor, that's Dead Orbit, Future War Cult, or New Monarchy, or an armor ornament equipped, it will cause the game to crash. So don't do armor synthesis with faction armor. Just don't do it. Trials of Osiris gear may not show up correctly when previewing the gear. In the Shattered Realm activity, players may be teleported even when the screen is fully white. Players should continue walking forward until they are players may not be teleported. So if you're not getting teleported in the Shattered Realm, just keep walking forward. It'll teleport you eventually. Trust us. Promise.
Lies and no.
Players who have already acquired most or all of the existing prophecy weapons will be unable to acquire the newly reprised Trial of the 9 weapons from the activity. So, sorry, Nitedemon, if you have them, you don't get to have them again. You take your old copy and you like it. They're investigating issues relating to the multiple steps of the Wayfinder's voyage quest not completing as intended. Players stuck on a step, particularly step 4, should abandon and reacquire the quest to continue progressing the quest. The barriers surrounding the Scorch Cannons and the Fallen. Aha!
You've answered your own question.
Jesus, you good?
I am good. The barriers
happened?
surrounding the Scorch Cannons in the Fallen Walker public event repel anything near them, preventing completions of the heroic completions of the event. I have done 2 Fallen Walker public events, and yeah, you shoot the Fallen Walker, you get the arc charge, you try to run to the little, bubble where you put the arc charge into the little slot. It does not let you. It shoves you backwards. Like, it sends you flying across the screen like you've been stomped by an ogre. So yeah, that's a bug. So you can't make the Fallen Walker public events heroic. Good to know. Is a bug. Bungie's aware. That's very satisfying to know that is broken. And I thought they changed the mechanic, and I was losing my mind the other day.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Speaking of mechanics, dude, all these new light players. I stop shooting the blight. I can't.
There's a
sounds
song for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
now,
they're
yes,
all
it's
gonna shoot the
reiterating something that happened earlier in the week when I was trying to do the public event steps, and the new light players just kept shooting the. blights. Knock it off. There's a thing in the sky. You go into the blight shield to get a buff, and then you shoot the thing in the sky.
Look,
If you
don't
shoot
repeat
the blight,
yourself.
the
Respawn.
goes worse.
Stop it. I will put the song at the end of the show so people have instructions of what to do.
Right.
My instruction is what you should do in the astral alignment activity. There could be extensive delays between opening the final chest and actually receiving the reward. So if you open the chest, just sit tight. You'll get your reward eventually. In the same astral alignment activity, joining an encounter in progress will block players from completing the encounter. So I think I saw where they had turned that off, where you can't join someone in progress because it breaks it. The sweet spot triumph is not progressing when killing wyverns with precision damage. Don't try. Progression toward the Tracing the Stars quest doesn't count if players pick up the Atlas SKUs before they pick up the quest, or if they pick up the SKUs on another character. The Ascendant Ballast 1 Season Challenge isn't properly tracking when players pick up the Wayfinding runes in the Shattered Realm. Players are encouraged to pick up the Water Wheel rune first, so they can complete the weekly challenge this week. Players affected by this will have to wait until week 2 this season to complete this challenge, where presumably they will fix it. The Lucidity pre-order emblem for the Witch Queen DLC is not showing up in collections. Players are blocked from entering the door of the Vault of Glass opening encounter. Players who leave their fire team, return to orbit, and rejoin the fire team can receive their reward and progress through the rest of the raid. So if you're stuck outside in the Vault of Glass, leave and come back, and it should hopefully work for you. Knights in the Prophecy Dungeon are incorrectly dropping light and dark motes based on the player's location. That seems like it adds an additional challenge. The Withering Heat Artifact mod has no description text. When the mod is equipped, it causing damage with a solar ability weakens champions for a short duration. So Withering Heat, solar ability, champion weakens them. Fire and Ice Artifact mod only spawns solar and stasis wells.
One. Because I
the
think
Fire
it
and Ice
says,
artifact only gives you Fire and Arc, or Fire and Ice.
it says it spawns 2. I think that's the issue. So it's one of each.
Okay.
One solar and one
solar
stasis.
and one stasis.
Yeah.
Very good. The no backup plans exotic cannot take shaders. The Lucky Pants Elemental's affinity cannot be changed. Your Solstice 2021 Illuminous Grasps Hunter ornament is unavailable to equip. A player's Bungie friend list doesn't automatically update when accepting Bungie rend requests. I assume that's meant to be friend requests, but it's not.
Rend? No, but that's what we're calling them now. Bungie Rends.
Yeah, Bungie rends. And when attempting to import players from other platforms for Bungie rends, some platforms display an error and can't import that friend. Also you'll get 6,000 friend requests from people on other platforms.
Also, the Dance Party Hunters boots can't take shaders either.
And then, as always, there's movies, there's artwork. You should go look at it. It's lovely. There's Hunters with Last Words and Lucky Pants. There's an Ode to the Bombardiers, which I assume was a Respawn original, and a tribute to the Anarchy.
It definitely has been a wild ride this week with so much information. So next month will mark 7 full years of Destiny, 7 years of Space Magic, Crucible, patch notes, lots of patch notes, community, and more. And they still have far to go with all of us. Let's start by taking our next step into Season of the Lost, shall we? And with that, I just want to kind of quickly cover what you can get with Season of the Lost. So if you're a free-to-play player with Season of the Lost...
When Season of the Lost? When does that come out?
That comes out now. You get Seasonal Reward Track, which is a free one. Seasonal Gear and Armor, selected gear and armor. Seasonal Challenges, again, selected challenges. I believe looking back on previous challenges, there's only about 18 or 19 challenges from the previous couple of seasons that I know that there's about 75 in the complete list for the last couple, but it boils down when you look at the past ones, there's only about 18 or 19. So maybe that's the only selected ones you have to do. You do get access to the seasonal artifact and mods, the event, which Festival of the Lost, event, The Dawning, event, Moments of Triumph, and crossplay. You also do get access to the 6-player match-made activity, the Astral Alignment, in a free trial. And the free trial only allows you to play for 1 week through the activity. So after that 1 week, if you do decide to like it and you want to buy it, you get access to all of those things, plus the full selection of armor and gear, the full selection of seasonal challenges, which gives you lots of bright dust to purchase stuff at the Eververse store, so it is worth it. You also get the weekly mission in the Shattered Realm, the exotic weapon quest, and the instantly unlockable exotic linear fusion rifle. Or you could just pile in loads and loads of bounties and get to, I think it's track 34, rank past 34 to unlock that fusion rifle. So yeah, that's what you get with Season of the Lost. Now, as promised, here is our lore scribe, Not Arf,
Hello.
with some Not Half-Assed lore. So, before we go any further, there may be, again, potential spoilers, so we'll put, like, some warning sirens here. If you haven't played the opening of this season, Season of the Lost, go away and play that, watch some cutscenes, and then come back. What kind of lore are we getting this week? Are we getting story time, or are we getting you telling us stuff and we asking you lots of questions?
Which would you prefer?
Lots of questions.
Okay, let's go with that then. What questions do we have?
What lore do we have?
Yeah.
You tell
So
us the lore, and we'll ask you lots of questions on it.
So many questions.
There are so many
Okay,
questions.
let me first off by saying I was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't
were
going to bring it
calling you
up.
out.
You know, I was kind of just letting it fly under the radar because let's face it, Peroty
I
doesn't
wasn't.
care. He would have forgotten. The listeners wouldn't have
I've already
forgotten.
forgotten.
See,
No, because
exactly.
Golden and everybody in my chat was talking about that last week, and they're like, "Oh, he was wrong. He was wrong." Ah! Not last week, but
Yes,
last
I
time.
was. I didn't want to believe it.
Yep.
But
I won't let them get away with it. The fans
technically,
demanded.
it wasn't Osiris.
Technically.
She has kidnapped Osiris.
She didn't kidnap him. She put him in a safe space.
Exactly.
His feelings were hurt.
So therefore, it's not Osiris. So technically, I was actually right.
So something that we discussed, Arf, was we were talking about Osiris being captured, and you were worried because you hadn't seen the second cutscene where
No, I hadn't.
Savathun was talking about finding him lightless. So that kind of also dispelled the theory that you thought that Sagira was still alive. You were clinging
I
on
was,
to.
I was clinging on, yes, because she was one of my favourite characters.
But
to be
saying
honest.
that, you do say that Savathun is a trickster. She may have just captured him. That whole story may have just been a complete ruse. He may still be alive with Sagira.
I'd like to believe that, but I think
I thought I'd
at
give you
this
that
point,
kind of little bit,
yeah.
maybe.
that little inkling of light in the corner. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think I've read some other lore now as well. Sagira is gone,
Oh.
but those I haven't got my phone with me. Sorry, I've got. I was on Twitter with Green Eyed Music Lover. Well, not on with her, but she posted a very good comparison between the new Hive Ghosts,
Yeah,
and Sagira, and they do look very similar. So, has Savathun got Sagira's shell and modelled the her I don't know
Her
how
ghost.
to kind of
Yeah,
her ghosts, because I don't know if they're true ghosts or not. None of us do at the minute.
No.
It's very all much because it's so far in the future. It's very much up in the air. Are they modelled off Sagira to actually?
No, because somebody. Oh God, who was it? One of the Destiny people said that it's dead ghosts that she's using like remnant light to bring back.
So that could pretty much confirm she has got Sagira then.
Well, she's
what's
using
left of her.
dead ghosts.
Or-
She's using dead ghosts. We don't know if it's Sagira.
Or she's been trading with the spider all this time for all the dead ghosts that he keeps collecting.
Well, she did hire Crow to steal a bunch, or somebody hired Crow to steal a bunch. So.
Yeah, but that got sent to all the stuff that the Crow stole went to the Elixir Quarter because that was being checked in by Amanda Holiday.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
But Spider could still have a little paw in this, couldn't he? His nefariousness.
Yes and no. I believe he could have a paw in it, but it's unlikely he will have dealings with the darkness.
No, but he could have dealings with people that were disguised, maybe?
Possibly, yes. But if you've seen the strike in the Tangled Shore, he can't stand the hive. He wants them eradicated. If you listen to the actual voice text in that strike, it's no, get them out of here. I don't want them here.
Okay. But what about Ascendant Hive?
Yeah, but he also really loves money, or he
Yeah.
loves valuable things, right? So if she was willing to offer him not so dead ghosts, right?
Yeah, but
Because
what happens if
he's
he
obsessed
kind of
with being the light. So
yeah?
I
What happens
mean,
if you'd kind of gone there as Osiris and said, I will buy X amount of dead ghosts from you for this amount of glimmer and whatever else you can kind of, he wouldn't have necessarily known that it was her. Just
yeah,
made a ton of money from it.
she could have also offered him light because he's obsessed with being a guardian. She could have.
He is.
She could have offered him.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. Hey, I can give you light if you give me X number of dead ghosts.
Right.
I mean,
let's look at this from two different points of view. Then let's look at this from the point of view that she's gone to him in disguise and said, "Yeah, I can give you a ghost. If you give me all your dead ghosts, I'll give you a ghost in exchange." He would go for that, but he would always be looking at the angle. Why is someone giving away a ghost? He doesn't trust anybody, not even the crow.
Obviously, she can give people light with ghosts, right? So I mean that's the angle.
Well,
hey,
you say
I want to raise an
people.
army.
Hang on.
Why?
You say people. We haven't actually seen her giving people ghosts. All we've seen the ghost doing is reanimating. From what I've looked at the cutscene, dead hive.
Yeah.
And
Hives
giving
aren't people.
them light powers.
Yes.
Which begs the question of she's going to have light powers as well.
Yes.
Oh my god.
You don't give your underlings something you don't have.
Yeah.
Now I
you
have
do if you're experimenting.
I have seen spoilers. You've got to remember that.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I did share the spoilers with Demon as well.
Yes, and I've
And
warned
if you
people
want
about
to
that.
enjoy the game, there is a lot in there, and I don't recommend you look at them.
Where'd you see spoilers from?
In the show notes from last week, there is a thing that says, "Go and look at this if you want to." It's like I think I was saying to Arf. It's obviously.
You've already put in the spoiler alert. Tell me. Don't keep it from me.
It's obviously a disgruntled
much to
Bungie
tell.
employee that's kind of released this because it's too on the nose, on point for everything that's kind of been gone for the last couple of seasons and what they revealed and what's happening now and what's going to happen.
But
Go
this
and
looks
read
like
it.
it looks like
I don't know.
released.
He sent it to you.
Yes, and when I get hold of my phone, because I've left it at my neighbour's house, I will actually send you the link as well to read through. Now, it's very mixed up. It's not in any order at all, so you have to go through it.
Okay.
But regardless of that,
with the spider going at it, if he knew it was Savanthan, even if it was potentially a ghost that he could get, I don't think he'd do it because he knows that once she's rid of her worm, she's not tied to anything, so she could potentially go to war and basically wipe out all his customers and his staff, so he wouldn't make any more money. And he wouldn't have his comfortable lifestyle.
I mean,
that's just not good business.
That is a possibility, but there's a possibility that her worm forces her to do all kinds of stuff she doesn't want to do. Maybe she just wants to go off and rule her own little corner of the galaxy. Maybe she just wants to hang out in her throne world.
Because a part of the Faustian bargain that they made when they became the Hive, when they first received the worms, you had Oryx, who was the High Navigator, who navigated death. Now, you have Zivorath, that is the god of war, and he must do war.
Yeah.
Which you've already seen in the.
Zivu was a woman, a female.
Yes, he, she, semantics.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want to offend anybody.
I did not assume her gender.
No.
Go ahead.
His pronouns are destruction.
Yes. She was wanting to be a knight when she was younger, so her nature was war and fighting and conflict. Savathun was cunning and the trickster, So she has to be cunning and trick people to actually gain her power. Now, if she doesn't, with her worm, if she doesn't carry on obeying her nature, her worm will consume her.
Right. But it doesn't mean that if she rids herself of her worm, she wants war. You know, she
No.
might
If
want
she
peace.
rids herself of worm, she will be free to do whatever she likes.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know what she would like to do. She's being pushed by her worm to be the trickster.
And the unknown enemy, who you don't know the character, is the most unpredictable.
Yeah, I guess. I can see that.
Peroty, you had a question, didn't you, just now?
Well, I was just going to ask about, all the talk about ghosts and their origins. Did we ever figure out the fish ghost? Is it a ghost? Could
It's
it
not a
be
ghost.
part of? Right.
Destiny said it's not a ghost.
Okay.
Bungie have
so
said it's not a
so that-
ghost. Now,
Okay, so that couldn't be part of
there
where
was
this is coming
never
from?
an adequate answer to say what it was.
All they said is what it was.
So could it have any sort of lingering light or whatever that could be used to make these hive ghosts, or do we not even know enough to know the answer to that?
We don't even know enough. The only time that was ever seen was in the trailer for Beyond Light, and it's never been seen again.
Yeah.
There's no lore on it, nothing.
That's convenient.
Yeah.
I mean, it might just be like a little friend bot. It could be like a little companion bot for all we know.
Could be a sentient black hole in a fish form. You never know.
It'd be a sentient black hole, yeah.
So, Arf, we were talking, weren't we, on text about Savathun ridding herself of the worm. Now,
Yes.
does she still retain darkness powers if she gets rid of the worm? Or is it just she gets rid of the worm and then the continuing story
I
will
have
be light?
looked into this a bit more since we spoke. Oh, since we
Okay.
text.
Darkness and the worm are two separate things, though.
They
Yeah.
are. You are perfectly correct there.
Yeah.
But we have to look at another example of this. Hive powers. Who has hive powers but doesn't have a worm?
The chick with the 3 eyes, who's blind.
Eris Morn.
That one.
Eris?
Now, yes, it's possible she may keep her hive powers, but whether we don't know if she's has actually communed with the darkness yet, to actually gain the darkness powers.
Isn't high
Because
powers based off magic and rituals?
It
That
is.
doesn't necessarily have to be
it's a
hive
brand.
to use that, though, right?
It's a branch of the darkness powers. And
okay.
they are using the rituals and the. Do I call it worship? I'm not too sure if we do or not. We use these rituals and the sacrifice to. How do I put this? To harness the darkness powers. Now, but then you look at Oryx. He had true darkness powers because he was able to commune with the darkness and he was able to take, which was different to the hive powers. So if Savathun has managed to commune with the darkness, she could potentially have Oryx level powers.
It looks like, from the way that the story's playing out, that she doesn't have those darkness powers. It looks like Ziva Arath has kind of stepped into that mantle of controlling the Taken and the Shattered Realms and things.
She
Is that
hasn't
right?
used those powers.
No, she hasn't used them.
Yeah, we don't know if she has them because she might be playing it close to the sleeve or whatever.
Exactly
right?
that.
Yeah.
Now it's never been confirmed that Ziva Arath has these powers. What has been theorized is the person that was controlling the Taken was Koira.
Yeah, and now
Koira.
Yeah,
we've killed her.
We've got rid of her. So there's an
well,
empty seat there.
We say we've killed her, but have we?
They have a nasty habit of not dying.
Yeah, because
we killed her in the Vex network, but she's an ascendant hive.
Yeah,
effectively, she's a Taken. So do we need to go back to her because she's quite a powerful entity? Do we need to actually go back to her throne world or her sword space and kill her there?
You said that they cannot be killed unless it's in their throne world. So the obvious answer to that is yes. We have to go back.
Well, we don't know if she has one or not because the majority of Taken do not have any free will.
Right.
Now, we know from the Books of Sorrow that Koira does have a modicum of her own free will, because this was the joke that Oryx played on his sister when he gave her to him. So she'd cause her sister trouble and potentially try and kill his sister, because that's how you show love when you're Hive. You try and kill your siblings.
So Ziva Arath trying to kill Savathun at this point in time is just her way of showing love, or is there an ulterior motive to that? Is
Right.
there something behind that?
Hang on. Let me stop you there. How far are we going into spoiler territory?
All the way, dude.
We've already
Right.
played the spoiler horn, so
Let
Yep.
me go into another Discord and pull up a link. Now, this is a link for an exotic bow.
Is it a bow that we already have?
No, it's a bow we will get in the future. Now, I'm very, with what I've found out and what I've researched and what I know, I'm very careful of what I post outside of the private podcast channels.
Yeah.
And if it's a very sensitive spoiler, I will send a link via direct message.
So it's an exotic bow we don't have yet. Spoiler: we get a new
No,
exotic bow. at some point.
I'm not even sure if it's a new exotic, if it's exotic bow.
it's a bow of some sort.
Is it not the bow from this season, the wolf something?
Mm-mm. No, that's got a whole different lore. If you haven't read the lore on the bow, you should. It's pretty good. Also, while he's looking that up, Demon, I
Yeah.
made a joke earlier when we found out about her being Osiris or whatever. But I made a joke about, because she said, "I've been Osiris for as long as you've known him," or whatever. And
Yeah.
I made the joke saying, "Oh my God, Saint totally nailed her," right?
Yeah.
And on one of the lores, on one of our new weapons, yeah, it's actually Osiris witnessing freaking Saint laying with Savathun. I was like, yo, what? That's jacked. That's so jacked.
Keep the string a little loose. It's supposed to sound like that. Petrovenge. The slithering dark is cold against my face. I cannot speak, cannot breathe. I reach for Segura, but then I remember. I form a fist, but feel nothing. I am bound as if I thrashed the images of cut fishes through my mind. Someone, the awoken prince? He helps me to my feet, but I still struggle in the dark. And now she is standing, thanking him. But she uses my voice. My voice. She has stolen my form, my voice, but someone will see my failure and cast her out. They must. A glimmer of sunlight. How long has it been? Zavala looks at me, at her, considers her words poison cloaked in wisdom. I cry out. He must know. Zavala, listen. Listen. You know me. You know not to. The smell of night flowers. I am walking. She is walking through a moonlit garden. And there is Ikora speaking, laughing, nodding. Look, Ikora, look at me. Don't you see it? Pay attention. Pay attention. I taught you better than this. A woman, an exo, sits before me and sways, eyes vacant, but inside she is sinking as a well. Now her voice, her true voice, humming a gyre of sound, and the exo sways faster and faster. I hear his voice and push to the surface. Saint. No. No. No, I scream, but there is no sound. He looks into her eyes. He smiles. He reaches for me, but it's not me. Saint. That is not me. Please. Please. I am weeping, but I cannot weep. I am nothing. Only heat and hate. Only sickness and shame. Trust me, I hear my voice say, and I drown again.
So Osiris can see everything that's going on through
Yeah,
what's happened with Savathun. So
and
that-
he's screaming in his own mind.
that's cool. I thought that she just assumed his form and was just walking around in his form, but she's
That's what
actually,
I thought initially.
yeah.
So she's actually taken him over like Invasion of the Body Snatcher style. Like he's
Yep.
he's there but suppressed, for lack of a better word.
It's almost like
Somewhat
if
aware
you
of what's
see
going
these
on,
shows
but
where you
can't
have,
control it.
it's almost like you see these shows that has a fancy hypnotist, and he's making you cluck around the stage like a chicken, and you can see yourself doing this,
Yeah,
but there's nothing you can do.
yeah, you know what's going on, but have no control over any of it,
That's right.
which is terrifying.
Mm.
Another question I want to ask you: the reveal of the final season, the final year of Destiny,
The final shape.
the final shape. What does that mean to you?
Freaking knows, man.
Oh, we've
Nitedemon is very
discussed
grumpy about it.
this at length. I'm very grumpy that you've actually not actually taken anything in.
Well, you've forgotten who you're talking to, sir.
Well, he
I
mentioned
excuse
he
you
was-
on this, but what about the other two?
he started mumbling on about shapes and things, and I said it's more to do with, I think it's more to do with actually becoming one with light and dark, but the title of it just feels weird. It doesn't feel right to me at the moment.
The title, if you know the lore, is amazing.
Okay,
Okay.
educate me.
Guess who doesn't
Yeah.
know the lore? 3 people sitting around the table here.
Because I only know about triangles and circles. Yeah.
No, that's now you're on about the 9 now. That's completely different. Right.
All right.
Sword logic. The sword logic is all about pushing forward and honing your blade to be the last living thing in the universe.
Okay. Yeah.
And so the Hive push themselves because they believe if you truly belong in the universe, you can defeat them. That's why there was no retaliation when we killed Oryx, because they believed that was because Oryx lost, he did not have the right to exist. And therefore, that's on the journey to the final shape. The final shape of the universe
It's a
is
sword.
the last living entity or species.
Okay, so does this, throwing this out there, does this then tie back in with those corridors of time that we visited and we saw our own grave? Was that our own grave? And there was a sword on the top, wasn't that?
It's never been
Oh!
denied or confirmed that was our grave.
No.
But it has been confirmed this is the last season or last year in Destiny's story, in this particular story arc from Destiny, before
Yeah,
they move
Light
on
and
to
Dark.
something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Light and Dark saga, that was what they called it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, if that's the case, there's going to be some massive connotations going forward in the next 2 years, especially in Lightfall. Is that the Traveller leaving? Is that, like we've seen in the trailer for the Witch Queen?
Light falls on everything.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Is it like the fall of the light as it's working with the Hive now, or it's been corrupted to work with the Hive? We don't know.
Quick question. I was thinking about this the other day. So far, the only people that we know that have had light are us and the Fallen. Cabal have never had light, and
Well, they technically.
before they stole it, they were never given the light. And
Yeah.
same thing with the Hive.
They
have never
haven't been
given
blessed by the
light.
Traveller, no.
Okay.
They tried
Okay.
stealing it.
Well, they
Every
didn't
race
try.
that's
They
current,
did
every race
it.
apart from the Elixni that has been blessed by the Traveller,
Uh-huh.
has been annihilated by the Darkness or the Hive.
Okay.
Bungie have said that there is big, story beats coming down the line. So, like you were saying, that it does have.
I'm actually very excited for the story beats that are coming down the line, because how the tie-in
Are we gonna have a fourth playable race?
Savathun, how she's actually acquired the light could be interesting. Because we already know Mara's trying to help her get rid of her worm. Because that could, once she's actually rid her of her worm, it could potentially open up or weaken Savathun. Savathun thinks it's going to strengthen her by losing her worm, but her worm's what gives her paracausality. Now, will she retain that when the worm is gone or not? We don't know.
Yeah, but then
Have there been no
how is
instances
she
of
going to
somebody
go
losing their
from?
worm in the past? Nobody's ever been rid of their worm before?
Well, we have rid Hive of their worm before, but they're dead.
Okay,
We
nobody's
shoot you
Not rid and live.
you headshot an acolyte and you see the worm pop out.
I meant,
No, but
survive.
that's ridding the worm of their host. That's not ridding the host of their worm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who wouldn't stamp on the worm after you've actually popped it out of somebody's head?
That's kind of defeating the object. He's asking the other way round, whether
Yeah.
you could actually extract the worm first and leave the host still alive. Like you were saying, it
Well,
would leave
this
her
is
vulnerable.
this is what I'm actually alluding to. Is it
Mhm.
actually possible to rid the host of the worm without killing the host?
And the other question is, why is Mara helping her? Why would Mara
He just
want
said
to
because
try?
Mara thinks it's weakening her.
Yes,
Mar- rid her of the worm.
Mara's duty is to her people on Earth.
Yeah.
Now, from what I can tell from the cuts, what I took from the cutscene and what I got from the big reveal trailers, I believe Mara there is still a mass of Awoken hidden away in the tributary, which is the Awoken homeworld, which is a pocket space in our universe, which she brought a certain percentage of her people back from, but the majority of the Awoken are not in our space yet.
Okay. So what does that have implications on story and things later on?
Well, that potentially, if they can come back through into our universe, it has a weapons and technology implication, because as we've traveled, say, 400 years since the collapse,
Yeah.
in that pocket universe where the Awoken are, they have had millennia, millions of years, and they're immortal in that universe. So in the time Mara's left, imagine the actual technologies they could and understanding of things they've actually developed before they come back.
So what you're telling me is they've got Galahorn 10.6, and
You're
we're
stuck
only
on
on.
Galahorn, dude.
We're on.
Galahorn's gonna get
version
nerfed. Get over it.
No, but
They've got something that makes the Galahorn look like a child's plaything.
Yeah.
Yes, they've got Galahorn mixed merged with
Warcliffe.
That shoots sentient black holes.
Right? It's if you mix
Galahorn that
Galahorn-
launches Nova Bomb out of it and at 50 rounds a minute.
So they've got
I
technology.
was just thinking of a
we'd want.
Galahorn that shoots
Then
proof
if we
rockets.
move
but,
away
you know,
why Mara's
yeah.
helping it, look why, if we go back to the whole thing of Savathun ridding herself of the worm, and is ridding her of a worm going to kill her? Now, if she dies like Gaul did, is that how she got the light? Because she was brought back by a ghost?
Yeah, does she have? I mean, if I was her, I would have things in place already.
Yep.
So that if, for say, instance, the Queen does betray me and kill me, thinking that she's won, then I can go, aha, I have come back. Because you wouldn't throw yourself at the mercy of your enemy if you didn't have a plan.
But Mara would have to get her in the throne world.
Which
Okay.
Mara has done with Oryx,
Well,
So
yes, she opened the door for us to get in his throne world, but she didn't actually do the actual dirty work herself.
Well, who do you
But
think's going to be working this season? Not her. It's going to be
No,
me completing that campaign, not her.
If
Down
I
to
can get
me
on, I'll be
again to
completing that
finish.
campaign as well.
Yeah, down to me to finish off her work.
Hey,
Just
your
leave it
brothers
there.
your brother's throne world look very different to this one.
Yeah.
right.
So, do you think at the end of this season we'll see a glimpse of Savathun's throne world? Of what potentially where we could be going?
Possibly. We know we will see it. We know we will see it in beyond between in Witch Queen, We know we'll be there. Whether we get in there before the end of the season, I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's very funny the way that they've kind of worked this. That yes, this new season is the prologue to the Witch Queen. But if you see the Witch Queen reveal or you see any of the trailers or anything like that, you know that Savathun has survived. Savathun has got ghosts. She's now got the light on her side. So it's trying to fill in those little bits in between what's happening now to there.
You're making a bit of an assumption there to say she has light on her side.
Well,
The Hive have been taking light for centuries. Maybe she just found a way of actually storing and harnessing it.
Well, that's true because they harvest us Guardians to make those crystals in that strike. We have to shoot them. So this
We
could
went
just
down
be
there
the
as a
next
squad of
step.
9.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
on a planet
Illegal
that's not
fire
even
team
there
size.
anymore.
And then it's a
Well,
squad of 12.
Oh, I did Deep Stone Crypt as a squad of 12. That was amazing.
This could just be the next step in their technology, right? Because they can take the light out of us and put it in a crystal, right? Maybe she's figured out how to take it out of us, put it in a crystal, and stick that crystal on the ghost. Boom.
Maybe that green eye on those ghosts we saw on the actual trailer is a crystal.
Yeah.
Like a light infused power source.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
so
a
like it's not
light
that they have the
battery.
light. Yeah. So it's not that the Hive are like beings of light. It's just they're powered like an Iron Man style. We've put the light into the Hive in the form of this crystal. So now we've been able to
Get this crystal, stick it in your chest, put a suit on, and then go and kill everything with hammers.
Yeah. They've weaponized light as a technology where we use it as like a.
And we already know
Almost
that's
like a
possible. Look what
religion?
Gaul did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We've also seen in the Dark... Well, when Demon actually gets around to actually editing the rest of the Dark Future lore, we've already seen in the Dark Future lore there's a bit where Zavala supercharges himself off the Traveler itself without a ghost.
Wow. I didn't even know that.
And literally he becomes that powerful. He does a thunder crash on the Scarlet Keep and brings it down.
All the way from the Earth. Wicked.
No, it was off Leviathan, actually.
Oh, okay.
Did that involve the Curious the Falling Star, or was that just natural Zavala?
So, is there anything else that we can kind of discuss from this opening part of the season? Do you think? Is there any more like, little tidbits on the lore that you've come across that are really juicy that we could kind of dissect?
I'm
Yeah.
going to say no for now.
Okay.
For now. Purely for the fact they may spoil a bit too much.
Fair enough.
And I want to give the people a chance to actually look into that before I go in and maybe read a couple more books and get into the meat of the season, and maybe getting halfway, 2/3 the way through the season, and we can actually look at doing that because of what we already know. But I'm very conscious of spoiling too much.
Yeah. So, a question on the rest of this season. Do you think that by the end of this season we'll have defeated Ziva Arath? Or do you think we're kind of focused on trying to rid Savathun of her worm? And once we've kind of done that, that kind of then plays into the Witch Queen. So,
well, what I
we
do
then
know,
still have
and it's
Ziva
already
Arath
been
still there.
said, I can't remember that's what I was looking for before. Ziva Arath is hunting Savathun on behalf of another.
Yeah.
But we don't know who that other is.
But when
At this point, I'd say it's freaking Osiris, but
no, but when you say another, you don't necessarily think of another worm, which is when we were texting. That was one of the ideas that you said, maybe that she's hunting her sister down because of the worm. It's in her nature. That's who the other is. But it could literally mean there is another person or another boss, entity or something out there that's got her doing.
Could
this
it
dirty work.
be the worm gods? Could it be the darkness? Could it be the 9? At this point, we don't know.
If people do want to be spoiled and want to learn what's going on, you don't have to point us right now, but where would people go to find that?
There's a lot of spoilers for this season on Ishtar Collective. ishtarcollective.net. That holds all the armor lore, all the weapons lore, and the lore books you are going to get this season. It is marked as a spoiler, so you physically have to go and click the spoiler sign for it to actually reveal the text there. Now, if you go back to last week's show, Demon has included that link I shared with him on
this week as well.
Oh, you're going to put it in this week as well in the show
Yeah.
notes,
Yeah.
so you can actually go and have a read through that document and look from there. But there are spoilers up to, what was it, season 17 in there?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't recommend it because you will just spoil the game for yourself.
Yeah, as you were saying, it's not in any kind of a semblance or order of this is happening this season, this is happening this season. So you could kind of miss off the bottom page and go, well, I don't want to know any further than that. I just want to know.
You'd
what
almost need
what
to
was right,
dissect
yeah.
the whole document and actually put it into season format
Woo.
to make it make more sense.
Yeah.
If only we had a lore guy to do that.
You need a lore guy with time to do that.
Yeah,
You guys heard him. We're hiring.
Yeah, that's always sort of the question I have is like, like I know everything is on Ishtar, and I know if you're looking for a particular bit or piece, it's all there. But I wonder if, and I know there's, we've pointed to many lore podcasts and things in the past of where you can get the discussions. I just didn't know if anybody was like doing any, like taking any of like the Ishtar Collective and like putting it into like a seasonal format or like a narrative format where you could go and say, well, I'm curious about this, or I'm curious about what's going on this season and don't want to just watch a series of cutscenes. Is there anyone like doing that?
Not
kind of
as
like
we
laying it
know at the
out.
moment. A lot of the lore podcasts currently, the major one, Focus Fire Chat, currently isn't recording because Blue's office has been destroyed by a burst pipe. And from what I can tell, it's about ready to rock again. But he's missed so much on Destiny because his office it wasn't usable for so long. Now they've got to catch up with what they need to go over. But there is the Guardians of Law. They will do full books in over several weeks, and they'll do some weapons and armor lore as well. But as for actually sending in questions, you can drop into the Guardians of Law Discord, which is actually, there's a permanent link all in their show notes anyway, so you can actually go in there and actually join a Discord, ask any questions in there, and they're a really welcoming bunch.
Or if you want to, you could just drop into our Discord and ask questions, and if it's nice enough and juicy enough, we'll put it on the show.
That, and if he has enough time or patience, or
No, but I mean,
whatever
he
to
can always
answer
answer it, and then we could just do his segment when he's not here and just answer what he tells us the answer is.
right,
so-
but no, he's got to tell us what that answer is.
Oh,
meaning
he
he's
can do
gotta
that
have time to
anytime.
find
I
it.
can do that.
Yeah, he can do that anytime. He likes doing that. I randomly text him at like 2:00 in the morning and go, Arf, I have a question.
Then
And
get
then-
reply about 4 or 5 hours later when
Yeah.
I actually drag my ass out.
It's not quick, but it'll get you there eventually.
So thank you very much for that, Arf. Lovely to hear from you again and dropping in. But before you go, there's a clan spotlight that Respawn isn't going to tell us about. You're going to tell us about this week.
Oh,
Sell us. Who is it? Who could it be?
who's it gonna be?
It could be Cade's Spicy Ramen Runners.
Oh,
Let
for
me
those
just
guys. I know a guy.
Let me just bring up a document that I should know
No.
off the top of my head.
I'm not feeling sold yet.
Yeah,
No.
because it's
Really not.
You posted the link in our spotlight.
Need
Is
a
that
new
a
hype
Clan
man.
Spotlight. Yes, that's what I was looking for.
There you go.
Whoever runs this clan, you should find somebody else to represent you. They're
For
not doing a
real?
great job.
I don't run the clan anymore.
Oh, there you go.
For obvious
No,
reasons.
It's literally I was trying to do too many things at once, and I was doing it badly. So it was time to actually step away and let other people pull up. We are a combined clan of PC and Xbox over 2 clans. So we have the PC side of the clan, and we have Xbox side of the clan. But we
Why
use
you
a common
discriminating,
Discord
bro? Huh?
because
Why you
this was before.
discriminate? Crossplay's
This
the
was
thing, dude.
It is now. It wasn't
Mhm.
2 or 3 years ago when we actually did this.
So why are you saying that you're separated now? You still
Well,
separated?
you
You still
can still
segregating?
be separated. You can still have an Xbox side and a PC side. Just converse
Some
between
people
the
don't
two.
want to crossplay.
No, don't force them
No,
if they don't want to.
we have approximately 200 people in the Discord
So you need to
playing
clan.
both Xbox and PC. We're using crossplay now. We've got several voice chats in there. All we ask is you join our Discord, come in and say hello, join in the voice chat, and you're over 18.
So who's in charge over
In charge, overall charge is Wildblood.
there?
He's overall clan leader for the two clans. Valkyrie is in charge of the Xbox side.
Yep.
And we have a clan council as well. So if the two leaders can't agree, then they invoke the clan council.
Oh, that's amazing. How do people find you? Would you like us to put your Discord link and your Bungie link in the show notes for people to get in touch with the clan and join?
That would be wonderful. Or the easiest way to do it is look us up on the D2 app and message one of the admin.
Okay.
Say, hey, I'd like to join. Don't just apply to join, message one of the admin, because that's the best way to get through.
So we'll put the link to the Discord. If you want to join Cade's Spicy Ramen Runners, jump in the Discord, say hi, and ask for an invite and join the clan. And then you could play with Not Arf himself, the legend that he is, because he's not here every week, so he's obviously doing something else Destiny-wise.
You could also contact Nitedemon through our Discord as well, because he is also a guest in there. Peroty was, but he has left.
Good job, Perry.
Peroty's not really active in any Discord, including his own, so.
And Respawn got thrown out for reasons which we are not going to discuss on this show.
Silence.
All right, bye.
Thanks, Arf. Take care.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Now it's the time in the show where everybody is excited to hear a Respawn's report roundup.
Okay, so Twitchy Tango, first of all, great name. So I'm not seeing anything for my Hunter or Titan to start the seasonal content. Am I just stuck without it? I didn't finish the last seasonal quest on my Hunter or Titan, so can I not access the new content? He also says, okay. Cosmo says, not sure. You already started up the season on your Warlock, and it's working there, but not on your other characters? I would make a post on our help forums. Thanks. Take a drink. Damage says, Trials of the Nine weapons in Prophecy Dungeon. Yes, they are. An issue has been identified. These weapons are not currently dropping. They weren't, but they are now. Nope, there was a hotfix. They are dropping. I've got a bunch of them. I still don't have the auto rifle. Sad face. Speaking of auto rifle, somebody pointed out to us, Demon, remember how I kept saying one of these was arc and I couldn't remember what it was? Back then, you could change the elemental affinity of them. So technically, they were all arc, all void, all solar.
I know, and
I
wasn't going to get into a discussion with you about it. I just kind of upset you.
If you just said that, I'd have been like, oh yeah.
Well, you didn't remember you could change the affinity, so I thought I'm not
going into it. I don't remember anything. That's not a fair assumption.
No, that's not true. You remember the grudge you hold from being kicked out of a Discord like a year ago. We found the thing you remember.
I didn't violate the guidelines, and
we found the thing you remember.
Team is investigating the bug. Once we have additional information, we'll let you know. That has since been fixed, so we can ignore that. Destiny News, Trials of Osiris rework kicks off on September 10th. Duos and singles mode. Oh, so there's more than just... There's 3 modes. So you have duo, single, and then full-on fire team. Nice. Ability to keep playing your card past 3 losses tokens removed. Gear from Trials engrams. Trials of Osiris will now require purchase of the yearly expansion to play. Destiny News says, if I don't have Beyond Light, will I be able to play Trials in the Season of the Lost? And the answer is no. You will need the current yearly Destiny expansion to access Trials of Osiris. That is currently Beyond Light. DMG says, oh, before I go, crossplay is live. Pretty much all know that. Bungie Help says, Players having trouble or who accidentally skipped installing the BattleEye launcher on Steam should try the following steps. Number 1, on Steam launcher, right-click Destiny 2, go to Manage, browse local files. Number 2, double-click BattleEye folder. Number 3, double-click install_BattleEye.bat. That is a batch file. Be careful, but that's what they say. Number 4, if prompted by Windows to allow changes, click yes. Number 5, BattleEye will install. Note, installation will happen without further prompts. Number 6, launch D2 from Steam Launcher, a BattleEye confirmation window will pop up.
Has that happened for you, Respawn?
No, I just installed it as it popped up.
Fair enough.
Bungie help. The player's search function in the in-game roster tab has been temporarily disabled due to an issue causing players to be kicked to log on when used.
Where are my friends? Nowhere now.
Right? Players can still search for other players using Bungie.net until this issue has been resolved. There was also another issue. I don't know if it's been resolved, but even if you had the person's correct name and tag, it would just say, can't find them, flat out. So I don't know if that's been resolved, but we were having issues with that, trying to link up some
Or
of our Xbox players.
People were giving you the wrong information.
No,
Maybe,
it wasn't
that
just
girl
me.
that you met at night that time in the club,
Oh
and
my
she
God.
gave you a
No,
fake number
me and
and said,
Az were
"This is my
trying to
number."
get one of our Xbox members to come play with us, and he kept sending us his information. He kept asking us for ours, and didn't matter if we put in his or he put in ours, it just wouldn't work. So
Works on the
Yeah.
Bungie.net.
Could you not find him on the clan thing? Or is that
he
not a
wasn't
thing
in
on
the clan
on
yet. That's
okay.
the guy that we kept telling you, hey, somebody accept his invite, and you're like, there isn't one. It was that guy. So he wasn't in the clan yet. That's why we were having issues.
Gotcha.
We are temporarily disabling the Ether Collection encounter of the Astral Alignment activity. Players currently in this activity are encouraged to return to orbit before relaunching this activity to pick up this change. Because we are aware of an issue where players who destroy all of the wisps in the Ether Collection encounter of the Astral Alignment activity can't progress. Players must restart this activity and not destroy all the wisps to continue. This issue will be resolved in an upcoming hot fix. I do not know if that has been resolved yet. Sorry, guys.
No, they've just disabled it at the moment. It was disabled on the 25th, I believe, on the reset, and they haven't implemented it again. So you can't currently do the Ether Collection part. It's just the other version that you can do over and over again. Once the Ether Collection part has been enabled again, you'll be able to then go in there, complete it, and kill the boss to get one of the challenges done.
DMG says, all right, folks, signing off for the night. Back at it early again tomorrow morning. Thank you truly for making today possible. Community is in our DNA, not looking to sound corporate, being real with y'all. Can't wait to see what the future holds for all of us. Cosmo says, whew, what a day. Too many people to thank, but it was a Herculean effort by a lot of teams to put together today's reveal and seasonal release. Today.
The other day.
Okay.
They were just saying
Thanks
thank
for
you.
watching. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for playing. Thanks for continuing to be such an amazing community. You're welcome. He's talking very specifically to me. There is a Shaxx helmet that apparently you can get from somewhere. What is this? Official Destiny 2. What the hell? United States. I'm United States. Oh, okay. So apparently there's a replica Shaxx helmet that goes on a stand. I don't think you can wear it. Yeah, it's 7 inches.
7
yeah,
inch.
so
You're not going to be able to wear that.
no,
Put it on
it's
your toddler
7
or
inch
your
replica
small.
helmet.
Your cat can
And
wear it though.
It's
Oh,
50
yes.
pounds. Even though I said I was in the US, they still give me pounds for the currency.
Oh, I was like,
Uh,
then you can't put it on your cat. No, 50 pounds
Yeah.
currency, not 50 pounds weight. All right, your cat will be
Right.
fine then.
Yeah, it is pretty cool though. There's a lot of detail put into this. Oh my god, it's even got like battle scars and stuff. That's pretty good. I like it. So if you're into that thing, I'm sure Damon will post the link. Ninja. It would appear that the Sweet Potter Triumph for Deadeye is bugged. I have gone around killing different wyverns and it doesn't count. DMG says known issue, team is on it. Is that drink worthy?
Yes. Always.
Yes. Take a drink.
DMG says trials matchmaking. You now start matchmaking with players that have the same number of wins on the card and with similar trials game performance of a given week. Resets weekly. Goal is to address why am I matchmaking folks who have 10 flawless this weekend on my first game. Wait a second. You will now start matchmaking with players that have the same number of wins on the card and with similar... So the wins on the card doesn't matter per se, because a YouTuber could have reset his card and you're both on your first game.
But it's the trials performance, similar
Yeah.
performance. So if you're all performing badly, you'll be matched up against more people that perform badly.
I'm assuming there's
I'm thinking the
population
three of
high
us
enough for that
is
to
going to be
matter.
playing a lot more
Yeah.
trials, willingly.
I'm just excited to go in like to the solo queue where I can go in and just, if I want to get the thing done at some odd time, just go in and go. I don't care if we go flawless. We're obviously not going to, but I can at least
Right.
progress. And just I appreciate being all ranked, but instead of the stupid tokens.
One of our fans was all like, "You every time I tell you let's go play trials, you get mad at me." It's like, dude, he goes because you say you don't want to mess with your loot pool. I don't want to dilute it. It's like, yeah, but with this new one coming up, I don't have to worry about
Bungie
dilution
fixed
because you can
it.
focus. I can focus my messenger and get messenger after messenger after messenger, no matter what my loot pool is. So yeah, I would absolutely play more. I would suck, but I would play more. DMG says, always a fine line to walk. Adept rewards are meant to be aspirational, but players need to feel like they have a chance in order for them to try. We're providing reasons to play even without flawless, but still want to fuel that aspirational feel. As noted in the article, team will be watching how things play out as the changes roll out. Why can't I read today? Tuning will happen and we'll let you know as things are updated. Cheers, mate. Destiny News says, new! The double fusion scavenger artifact mod used with normal scavenger mod gives you heavy ammo. Linear fusion rifles only every time you pick up a special ammo break inside PvP. I think that's been hot fixed.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't been
hasn't?
hot fixed. No, that hasn't been hot fixed. That still works. And the preference is you need the new mod from your artifact, and you also need the scavenger mod from your normal fusion rifles equipped. If you only have the linear one that says that it gives you the heavy from picking up green, it doesn't work. You need to put on the other mod. So I think
Destiny
it's about
says it's
6
also
power.
working in Gambit.
Also
if
works in
you're
Gambit.
curious. Golly.
This is why we've decided to disable trials the first week of a new season going forward.
Right. So talking of Gambit,
And it's
and
any
you're a
linear
hunter,
fusion. It's any linear fusion rifle as well. So it can be legendary or it can be some of the exotics as well.
So bit of a side note because I don't think Demon's covered it in his videos. But talking of Gambit, Lucky Pants, and what's best, right? So outside of Gambit, right, if you're fighting non-taken enemies, they've discovered that the Lucky Pants pairs best with the Crimson because larger magazine capacity than the last word does more damage. But if you're fighting Taken like you are inside of the Gambit, you actually want to go with Malfeasance because you're going to do extra damage to Taken. And again, you have the large magazine. So, just a side note.
Okay. Or do Crimson until the Primeval and then do your Malfeasance.
I mean, because if there's a lot of Taken, why would you use Crimson? And plus, the way it works,
There aren't a lot of Taken.
The way it works, Titan, is you don't always have the buff, right? You pull out a fully loaded. So there's a bunch of things that have to happen. Number one, your hand cannon has to be fully loaded whenever it comes out, right? Number two, your hand cannon has to either be a kinetic or matching your subclass. Number three, when you pull it out, you only get, I think, like a few like 5 or 10 seconds of the buff. And after the buff is done, you cannot get the buff again and for another 10 seconds when it says your luck is out. So you can't just like have it up at all times. There are timers in play here that prevent you from having it up at all times. And to add on top of that, if you're in a Gambit that has a lot of Taken, besides the Primeval, Malfeasance is still better than Crimson.
Okay.
I'm so excited to try Tranquility with the snapshot now. Great work on adding that perk back in. DMG says yummy, yummy, yummy. Full court back on Love and Death. Yo! Personally, I thank you guys. Yes, full court Love and Death.
And who are those two tweets from?
Jesse is happy about it from Noir Rouge, and DMG says, "Ooh, baby." Cool.
And Synergy Shadow was the one before with Tranquility.
Oh yeah, it was. I'm sorry. Yeah, Synergy Shadow. My bad. All right. DMG says, "Hey, all, have an update from some sandbox folks. We're looking to disable the visual tracking perk on Lawrence, Driver, and PvP modes. Good. This change will come in a future hotfix. Oh, so it's still live.
Yeah,
Well,
they haven't turned it off yet, but they're planning to. Will it be before Trials goes live on the 10th? Stay tuned.
so all this time in PvP and competitive PvP, people are gonna have wall hacks just because. And the thing that makes it especially broken is, unlike the bow that gives you wall hacks after you've fully drawn it, right? This gives you wall hacks even if the gun is not out.
Yeah, it just automatically tracks something, doesn't it?
Yeah. So you have to have the gun equipped, but you don't have to have it in your hands to get the wall hacks. So double broken. Glow says, imagine Nightfalls got harder based on how good you are at PvE, but the rewards stayed the same. Great PvE players had to do GMs to get the same loot as less talented PvE players doing the 1240 Nightfalls. And cheaters and lag due to playing people across the world. Welcome to skill-based matchmaking trials. Wah. DMG says it's difficult to compare PvP to PvE as difficulty scales per fire team. In this comparison, it is assumed that every team should be at GM level. Following this logic, is it fair that the top 0.01, not 0.1, 0.01 of players get GM rewards for dominating teams that are a lower difficulty? To be clear, the matchmaking goals are to get more players engaged within the playlist without asking, why am I matchmaking 10 times flawless players on my first game of the weekend? Good question. Definitely, I'm sorry. Deaf here.
Definitely hear
Hear
the concerns.
the concerns and feedback, though, and we'll be passing along team as necessary. Flash, get out. Sarah DeRouche, any chance we'll be getting a seasonal roadmap at some point? DMG says, looks like we'll have one in the next few weeks. Stay tuned. Isn't that the thing that's in the game?
No.
That roadmap
No.
thing?
No, like the actual like what's coming when things start, what the dates are, what they're going to
date
tell us you're
is
going to
Iron
get, and then
Banner
what they're going to lie to you
Ah.
about.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Nitedemon wants to make sure all of his Iron Banners are on his calendar now.
Yes.
That's all.
That's all I want.
So DMG replying, are you removing Nova Warp? Per the team, Kevin Yane says, they're replying to at George.
Yeah, but somebody said, "Are you removing
that's
Nova?"
not the name. Yeah, basically says, are you removing Nova Warp? Kevin Yane says no plans to remove it. So no. I don't know why that came up. Why they were even thinking about it going away, but
Well, because people were saying it's one of the weaker subclasses for the Warlocks. They were like, when you kind of rejig the subclasses, because people have been talking about this for a long time, it was one of the subclasses parts that they were thinking was going to be taken out of the game because it was either too strong or it was too weak. So they asked him a direct question.
So, which one of these is first, the Joe Blackburn or the Yanes? How do you read this? Because this one's in like a little square. Does that mean that one's first?
Yes,
Joe Blackburn's first.
Okay. Super excited about the light-based subclass updates coming next year, starting with Witch Queen. This was a big team-driven initiative that we are now really excited to get out to players. Kevin Yanes replies to this, real talk, a lot of the initiatives you're hearing about have been in the pipe for a long time and were only possible because of people like at Joe Goroth, at this Luke Smith, and at TK Bling ×2 trusted the team to build dope. It actually says that. I concurs. Ha! DMG PSA! Bungie says, we have pushed an update to help resolve issues with players' search on all platforms and /commands on Steam. I wonder if that means that
So hopefully that'll fix your search problems.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm really hoping. Queen Pandel is talking to Bungie, DMG, and Cosmo. Also, note, for some reason, Radiant Dance Machines cannot be shaded. We knew that. DMG says, looks like Iron Banner armor and the new exotics can't take shaders. Team has a fix lined up for a future hotfix. Oh, Peroty didn't know that. Uh-oh.
That wasn't my gasp. That was
That was
Nighthemon's
me.
gasp.
Oh,
I've got
Demon didn't
my
know
Iron
that.
Banner armor, and it shades just fine. The
And
new
I
Iron
got-
Banner armor won't be
While-
shaded yet.
While we're talking about Iron Banner, just to remind people, there are going to be 4 bounties that you can pick up from Lord Saladin himself that will give you pinnacle gear. And that pinnacle gear will help progress you to the power level of 13. What are we on now? 1330? 1330. So if you are at 1320 now, that will help progress you. So there are 4 of those that you can collect on each character. And there's a new seasonal quest to get the new weapons that they're dropping. I believe it was the sidearm and pulse rifle this season. So I'm interested in seeing those. And don't forget, if you equip Iron Banner gear once you get it this season, you have a higher chance to get the enhancement prisms from completing matches, as well as having the extra bonus of attaching it on your ghost as well, because there's a mod on your ghost that you can get from doing headshots from that. So you have double the amount of chances for that. And plus,
And if you guys haven't noticed on your ghosts, also people that are watching, there's new mods for your ghost that let
We'll
you
come back to that.
focus armor. Well, I
We'll come
mean,
back
you're
to that.
talking about it now,
No, I'm
and
not.
it's
I'm
going to
not.
be good for the armor for Iron Banana, right? Put on your ghost has mods that gives you a guaranteed +10 of resilience or mobility or yada yada yada. So whatever you're using or whatever you're looking for in the Iron Banner armor, put that on your ghost to help you get a better roll for your Iron Banner. That's what I'm saying.
Plus, don't forget the way that they've reinvented the way that you kind of play the games now. So if you're playing Crucible, and the same with strikes as well, you get the win streaks, or not win streaks, the play streaks. So whether you win or lose, it now goes up to the 5 on Crucible anyway. And if you constantly stay in the loop of playing Crucible, and you can jump from mode to mode, you'll get the added benefits of staying in that mode with the XP that you gain. So think about that when you're also playing with your Iron Banners, armor and your XP and things, because one of the fast ways to get the new ritual weapon this season is just to constantly stay in the game modes. So yeah,
Yep.
go
Which
for
is
it.
what we've been doing with playlist strikes up into the Nightfall strikes. I'm already at season 11, and I've only been doing it for 2 days. Or not season 11, rank 11 first of all. I've only been doing it for like 2
Slacking.
days.
That's what you are.
I mean, this is the fastest way that they've said to do it. So
Slackers.
whatever. DMG4, there were so you telling me you got the rocket launcher?
No, I'm just saying you're slacking.
Actually, what rank am I? I'm higher than 11 now. Oh, I'm 12. 12. Okay,
DMG.
anyway. Yeah, working on. All right. There were many on the team wanted to bring these weapons back to the fold. We'll pass along the thanks. What other aspects of the season are you enjoying? Yes. So Sean, Francis, and I'm on board with this. Have fun, and hey, just want to say I never thought I'd see these again. I really appreciate the work everyone put in bringing them back. I know I'm by far the only person who feels that way. But just wanted to take a second to say thanks for listening. At Cosmo 23, it shows all the trials weapons in the Prophecy Dungeon. And by the way, although I still don't have the auto rifle, I did get to Peroty. Let me know if this is a good roll. I got the pulse rifle with what's that magazine perk that you always talk about on your auto rifles, dude?
Overflow.
Yes, it has full auto, overflow, ricochet rounds, small bore,
Nice.
and it's a monster.
You just said overflow and full auto, so I'm sold. I don't even care what the other perks are. Yes,
Yeah, and
go for it.
that's on a fast firing pulse, dude.
That was
It's a monster.
that's the bygones. I clutched to my cold dying chest as they sunset. It was a full auto, and I can't remember what else it had on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Full
Peroty,
auto rifles are
get
vicious.
into the prophecy dungeon. Hell, we can do some together if you want. Get into the prophecy dungeon, farm it. It's amazing. I might not even want the auto rifle after getting this pulse rifle. It's so good, so good.
You
Anyway,
shut your mouth.
said might. I said might. Bungie helps us. We've resolved an issue where Xbox and PlayStation players were having issues with their Witch Queen pre-order codes from the Bungie store. Players affected can now use their codes and will be able to receive their items from Master Raoul or Shao Han after a game restart. There you go. Bungie help. Players who become blocked in the battery portion of the astral alignment activity need to return to orbit. As a way to reduce these blocks, we have removed the option for players to join the activity if it's already in progress. Bungie Help says in the astral alignment activity, there can be an extensive delay between opening the final chest and receiving the activity rewards. Have seen that. In the astral alignment activity, joining an encounter in progress will block players from yada yada. That also happens in the blind well, or it happened in the blind well. Me and a clanmate were like, "Where's our stuff? Where's our stuff? Where's our stuff?" And then it just came like 30 seconds later. So they probably fixed that. I don't know. Destiny news. This teaser image for Bungie's 30th anniversary dungeon features a familiar character. You said that earlier. There's our 9 dude just kind of hiding out, being creepy. Destiny news also says Lucky Pants plus Crimson go brrr. It's funny because that's the noise I was making whenever I was showing it off. We were doing Nightfall Strikes together. I'm like, hey, check it out, check it out, check it out. Brr, 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 brr. And they're like, holy that is not cool. I'm like, that's dope. Anyway, TGP, new subclass damage type in development for Destiny 2. Again, don't get confused because they said even it might be in development, but we're not going to get it until at the very least the end of year 5, guys. It's not coming in year 5. Yeah. Just because it's in development doesn't mean we're going to see it anytime soon. Don't get thrown off by that.
That was from an interview that Joe Blackburn did on the Game Post.
Right. Destiny 2 News Plus. Savathûn has many forms, some large, some small. The one we see in the reveal trailer is 20 feet tall. I think it's because they don't want to see any Rule 34 of her on the internet, which is, it's already too late, Destiny. As soon as you're done. Sorry.
21 feet tall.
Right. Well, Rule 34 is... Never mind. New! Deborah Wilson is the voice actor of Savathûn in the Witch Queen. She looks familiar, but I don't know who she is. Maybe that means something to some of you.
And because we give you all the news, here is some future possible news from Nitedemon and Respawn to you.
Festival of the Lost. Don your favorite mask and collect treats as you brave the new haunted sectors in remembrance of those who have lost. That is like 2 months away. Damn it. Destiny News says Festival of the Lost 2021 might be adding haunted lost sectors to Destiny 2 later this season. Don your favorite mask and collect treats, you brave. That's all I can say.
The thing that you read above that is what they're quoting down below.
Oh, yes.
So yeah. That tells us what happened to the forest, at least.
So this is Bungie Help. Due to an issue where Titans could unintentionally do large amounts of damage with their throwing hammers, we have temporarily disabled the Worm God Caress exotic Titan gauntlets.
I feel that exotic, every couple of seasons,
It's disabled. Friend, yes.
It's like we're disabling it for the whole of the season. There's no point in you actually owning this. We might as well have just deleted it from the game.
Yeah, Worm God Caress and Telesto are friends.
So, due to an instance that allows hunters to dodge an unintended amount of times in a row, we have temporarily disabled the Radiant Dance Machine's exotic hunter leg armor and gamut and PvP activities. That's what I was complaining about, this tweet right here. An unintended amount of times in a row. So they're going to nerf how many times we can dodge.
Only in Gambit and PvP activities. So you can do it as much as you like in your raid.
And it's not so much a nerf, it's that it's working how it didn't intend it to work. So it's not that they're nerfing it, it's you were never meant to have it. But now that you have it,
I think they're just saying that to try to appease the hunter rage, but it was supposed to have 6. But people are complaining because our mods and 6 dodges give us our super back immediately instead of just messing with the mods and not the freaking, whatever. I don't think this is true. I think it was supposed to have 6 dodges because there's no way they play tested this and were like, gee, I wonder if it's supposed to have 6 dodges. Are you seriously telling me it didn't have 6 dodges during playtesting? I don't believe it. I think the community backlash is just making them say this, but I really think you should be messing with the mods that allow us to get us our super back immediately instead of the exotic itself. It's just what I'm saying. Put a timer on the mod activation, right? Because anybody else, if Demon uses his class ability or if Peroty uses his class ability, they're not going to get it back immediately. So putting a 5-10 second delay on those mods is not going to hurt anybody except hunters and these dance machines. And I recommend you doing that instead of nerfing the number of times we can dodge with the dance machines. That's all I'm saying. Whatever. And that's the last thing. So, we're
Okay.
done.
All right.
Yeah, so there's the patch 3.30 that Nitedemon will not say anymore because he can't.
Yep.
Came out with the new season. It has all the things that we mostly covered in the last few weeks. A couple of things I was just to mention and throw in there. There's the Destiny timeline that's now there in the game where you can sort of see what season happened where and the order it happened. The, as we've already mentioned, bugged Deadeye title is available. So it's a new title seal you can earn, which goes through a series of weapon kills. So it's basically get weapons kills with different weapons on all sorts of weapons.
And you've
And
already
there's-
done a lot of those. That's kind of already auto-completed for some of the things. Because when I logged in and looked at it, I was like, oh, I've done like 95% of this. So,
yeah, and that's lovely. So yeah, there's a new seal that doesn't involve doing anything crazy. Just shoot things with guns. And because someone's going to ask, what are the power bands? Your power floor remains 1100, so everything's still going to be 1100 at the lowest. Your soft power cap is now 1270, which is up 10. Your powerful cap is up to 1320. Again, that goes up 10 from last season. And your hard power cap is now 1330, up 10 from last season. So 1270, 1320, 1330 are new power caps. Eververse, if you were trying to buy the new expansions in the game and you couldn't, now you can. They fixed that. The selected items from the Eververse archive now feature a most popular callout. So if you want to know what people like, now you can know. It is worth mentioning while Trials isn't here, the elimination and survival game modes do have the 3 peaking removed that Trials will also have. So if you want to get a feel for how it plays, it's live in those game modes. The reputation, as we all know, the Vanguard reputation is no longer token based. It's now play game, earn streaks. It is worth mentioning that as you're doing your Crucible, Gambit, and Vanguard ritual activity streaks, which is as Respawn was saying, play the same thing over and over and over again. You do lose your streak for quitting out or getting, it says KTOing, which is KT, which is, I don't know actually what KTO, I was thinking technical knockout. So maybe TKO is what they were trying to say.
So what
No
happens
idea.
if you change activities, like if you go from Vanguard to Crucible, or if you leave during like a strike or whatever, that's going to reset your streak, right?
Yeah.
But you can do things like going to the tower and going to the helm and then going back into the activity without losing your progression, as long as I think it's less than 10 or 15 minutes, I think. I can't remember exactly how long. But yeah, you can go do other things, like you can go buy stuff from Spider, yada, yada, yada. You just can't start an activity in a different playlist or leave an activity in said playlist without it, removing your streak.
So yeah, so you do lose your streak for quitting out,
Yes.
TKOing, and your streak resets if you play something besides that ritual's activities.
Correct.
Like you
So if
said,
you get the
going
Gambit
to,
or Crucible,
yeah, but like going to the like you said, orbit, tower, and helm, it just says do not trigger. It doesn't say there's a timer. Maybe there's a timer, but it just says doesn't trigger reset. And the previous win streak bonuses, aside from glory, have all been removed.
There is
Vanguard-
absolutely a timer, because I walked away, went and did some stuff, came back, and my thing had been reset. So there's absolutely a time gated
Yeah,
trigger. I
so-
just don't remember what it is.
Did it kick you to orbit from somewhere, or did it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I went to orbit. Well, technically I was already in orbit, but like
Yeah. So there's a
Yeah.
trigger somewhere where you can't, start playing, put the controller down, go to work, come back from work 8 hours later, and pick it back. There's a timer in there somewhere.
Exactly.
The question I had, one of the questions I had, your Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit reputations now cap at 10,000, and all the tuning values have been adjusted to that. So instead of it being 2,000 for Crucible, 15,000 for Gambit, and tokens for Vanguard, they all cap out at 10,000 now. As such, they've removed the Crucible and Gambit gains from all bounties. It's just you play the game, you're in rep in it. Your 3x multipliers have all been removed. Your reputation boost weeks are now 2 times multipliers all 7 days, as Nitedemon mentioned earlier. The glory floor worked the same way it did in previous seasons prior to 14. Each rank below Fable 1 should not allow any negative progress to derank you below that. I wish they would have given us a little bit more, but Nitedemon did allude to things giving you different XP ranks, so they've at least laid out that things will give you XP, XP plus, or XP plus plus, or challenger versions of that. Challenger XP, XP plus, plus plus, and plus plus plus. I
Yeah.
wish
What are
they'd
you
say like
saying?
what those meant. It's basically they're going to call out and say like this will give you like Challenger plus XP. I don't know how much that is, but they've sort of given us a tier of how much XP it is, but not any real numbers. Just the number of pluses means you're going to get more XP from things.
Well, I can give you a kind of rough estimate on these things. So if you look on your Bungie app, if you've got one, if you look at like the bounties that you can pick up, a regular bounty is XP plus. If you have, I think it's a weekly one. If there is a weekly one that I can find that does the same. Yes, so the Cosmodrome one that you can pick up full spectrum where you do Arc, Void, and Solar, 25 kills of each, that will give you XP plus plus. So the weekly ones are plus plus, the daily ones are plus, and then I think the repeatable ones are just normal XP. But as you said, there are higher tiers of plus 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 that I think you probably get from doing other things like Nightfalls and X amount of other things that say that once you've completed it, it is plus plus plus. So yeah.
Yeah, which is a long way to say instead of you'll get lots of XP or you'll get more XP or a considerable amount of XP, they've actually at least given us a scale that as the season goes on, we as the community will be able to figure out, okay, this number of pluses equates to about this much experience.
Indeed.
And just a reminder, your Bungie friends list is now a thing. So as you're getting bombarded by Bungie friends list invites, that's where those are coming from. The player on their roster, your player's platform is displayed next to their Bungie name, and your Bungie friends will have a watermark behind their Bungie name on the roster. Also, there's two rosters. There's like your console roster and then your crossplay roster. So there's just expanded things. If you're not seeing somebody, look on all the pages. And they finally fixed the bug where you can now see the second page in your Gambit post-game scoreboard because it just hasn't been paging correctly forever. And your player, yeah, there is that gives you damage numbers on the prime. Couldn't see for like the whole last season. And basically, they've given you the ability now to see the number of times your title has been gilded, even when it is not currently gilded, as we complained about last season. What's the point of gilding a title 3 times if it doesn't show up until I've actually gilded it like that third or fourth time? Well, now, even when it's in its purple ungilded status, it will show that you have gilded it 2 or 3 or 7 or however many times.
Oh.
So that's nifty.
It does make a little more sense.
So, Respawn. We have a load of new mods in the database and in the game.
Tell me you're not going to go over every single new mod.
There are 63 new mods. Would you like me to go through all of them?
No.
Because,
for the love of God, no.
Because there are a lot of them that you can find on your artifact.
Just tell us the new groups, what each
I
group
will. I will.
Okay.
You can look on your artifact in-game to see what the new artifact mods kind of do. And I think I've got one of the videos coming up in my tips, tricks, guides, and builds that goes over all of those and which ones you should be kind of maybe speccing into. So I will leave you to kind of look at those yourself in-game because they are kind of pretty standard now. You've got your Unstoppable and Barrier and all that now, plus a few kind of new ones, returning ones. But we did get a plethora of new mods that either go on our gear or on our ghost, as Respawn pointed out earlier. You have utility kickstart, so when you've used your class energy and that's completely expended, you gain class energy back. So that'd be good with Titans with their barricades. There is a grenade kickstarter one and a melee kickstarter one. You have a stasis resistance mod, so it reduces the incoming stasis damage. And guess what? You can only put this on a stasis armor piece. That's good. They've now put stasis armor pieces in the game. Have you seen this dropping from a lot of the encounters? I didn't clock it to start off with, but when I actually started looking at these things that were coming in, I was like, yeah, there's a stasis emblem. I'm getting stasis
and
armor.
it's not just dropped. You can also change it to stasis if you don't get one to drop.
On some things, yes. I believe we've already pointed out some of the
exotics and whatnot. Yeah, but like
can't change. But you can change your armors to stasis now to put some of the new stasis mods and possibly future mods that will be coming in that are only available to equip on a stasis armor piece, as we've got with some of the others. So we have the restorative finisher. So when you use a finisher, you gain a portion of energy for your least recharge ability. Requires 1/10 of your super energy. And then the ones that you were talking to me about with the armor mods. So we have the discipline armorer, the intellect armorer, the mobility armorer, the recovery armorer, the resilience armorer, the strength armorer. So these are ones where if you equip them, on your ghost, the armor pieces that you're kind of searching for are guaranteed a minimum of 10 in whatever department it is, and are more likely to drop with a higher amount of energy in that selected thing. So when you do get armor drops, double check if you have got these on your ghosts. There is power preservation, so your super final blows create orbs of power for your allies. So there's more orbs. And then we've got our holster ones. So these are ones where they refill your magazine. So you've got auto rifle, fusion rifle, grenade launcher, hand cannon.
Oh, and while we're on this topic, hunters, because most of the time we look for mobility and recovery. I know it's going to be your first instinct to put the mobility armor on there, but actually, if I were you, I'd put the recovery mod on there. And the reason being is because recovery is significantly more expensive to put onto a piece of armor than
It is,
mobility is.
Good call.
So go for the recovery and then slot in mobility as needed, right? Little pro
Or
tip there.
intellect, because that's 5.
Or intellect too, yeah. If that's what you're into.
So yeah, hand cannon, linear fusion rifle, holster, pulse rifle holster as well, scout rifle, shotgun, sidearm, sniper rifle, submachine gun, trace rifle, machine gun holster. So these are the ones that it will then gradually restore your stowed whatever over time. Then we have orbs of restoration. Pick up an orb of power, grants a small amount of energy to your abilities with the least amount of energy. And then we had some more. There's some more well ones that have been dropped in via the wishing. What is it called? I can't remember the artifacts and the new part in the helm that we can go to. There are new kind of well mods that we can kind of get.
Oh.
So there is Bountiful Wells, Elemental well mod that cause you to spawn elemental wells that can now stack, spawning additional wells for each additional copy. You also have Elemental Shards, so Stasis Shards count as Stasis Element wells for you. Elemental Time Dilation, Elemental wells mods that grant you a time-limited benefit can now stack, increasing the duration of the effects for each copy. Enduring wells increase the lifespan of elemental wells you create. Multiple copies of this do stack, further extending the lifespan. And melee well maker, powerful melee final blows spawn elemental wells matching your subclass. Stick that on the Titan. I've done that one this week. Seeking wells, elemental wells you create move across the ground towards your nearby players. Supreme well maker, casting your super spawns 3 stasis elemental wells near you. Well of Ordnance, picking up solo elemental wells grant you additional grenade melee. Multiple copies of this mod increase the effects. Well of Restoration, picking up a stasis elemental well grants you additional energy for your abilities that has the lowest energy. Multiple copies can stack. Well of Striking, picking up arc elemental wells grants you additional melee energy. Multiple copies mod increase this effect. And Well of Unity, picking up a void elemental well grants you class energy ability. Multiple copies do stack. And then we have some new perks in the game. So these were quite nice to see on some of the new weapons that we were getting. We have 7 new perks that are in the loot pools for us to get on these weapons. One of them, well, there's an 8th one, which is Jump Driver, which is on the Lorenzo drive, which gives you the enhanced radar. But a Dago is after defeating a target, this weapon fires, charges, or draws more slowly and deals increased damage for a brief time. Haven't used it yet, so I don't know what the amount of time is, but I'm sure Fallout's done a video,
that's
or
like
is
the
going to
Suros
do a
regime
video.
mod, isn't it?
I don't know.
Isn't that what Suros regime did? You know, you had 2 modes. You had the spinning up, or you had
you have
the
slow firing and spinning up. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
So next we have EM Anomaly. A precision final blow with this weapon creates an implosion that pulls nearby targets and damages them.
yeah, that's on the Lorenz driver.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay, it says it's a legendary perk.
Really? Because the Lorenz driver, that's
Yeah, I thought
stick.
that's what
When you
that
get a
has as well.
headshot, it sucks things in and implodes them. So
Encore.
Yeah.
Precision final blows grant a stacking range bonus to this weapon. Non-precision final blows remove the range stack but grant you bonus damage. Ensemble improves handling, reload speed when allies are nearby. Harmony. Final blows with other weapons improve this weapon's damage and performance for a short duration. Headstone.
So
Precision
it's almost like if you remember it's almost like Master of Arms, except unlike Master of Arms, this does not proc on itself. You have to get a kill with another weapon for this to proc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have Headstone, which is precision final blows spawn a stasis crystal at the victim's location. And finally, Shoot to Loot. Shooting an ammo brick picks it up, automatically reloading all of your equipped weapons from reserve.
Say that again and slow it down for those people that didn't quite hear the importance of that.
So, if you are miles away from a heavy brick or a green ammo brick, and you
Like
have
in
a
a
shoot,
GM, for example.
if you have a
Yeah.
shoot to loot perk on your weapon, mainly on your primary weapon, you can shoot at a distance and pick up that brick, and it will automatically reload all of your equipped weapons from reserve.
While also giving you the ammo that you shot.
Yeah. So
Really, really good.
if that's on a grenade launcher or rocket launcher, and you're down to the last shot, and you just kind of shoot it in that general direction to get the enemy as well as pick it up, that could be quite interesting.
I agree. Yeah.
Then there are a plethora. There are 40 new bounties in Season of the Lost. I won't go over them because you can pick them up daily from your new seasonal vendor,
Good
which
man.
is in the helm. But I will quickly go over our new weapons. The ones that we got wrong last week. And the ones that have kind of returned, or the ones that are actually in the game now. So we have the Peculiar, which is the hand cannon. We have the Fractalith, which is the shotgun. Servant Leader and Peace Bond are the new weapons for Iron Banner. So Servant Leader is a rapid fire scout rifle, and the Peace Bond is your legendary sidearm. Then, spoiler alert, we got right. Shepherd's Watch, we got right. The Cryosuramelitho, which is your legendary auto rifle. I've no idea. Milo, Cryosura that's what we're saying, is your high impact frame legendary auto rifle, which is pretty cool. I've used that a couple of times. And the auto rifle that I got wrong, which was I think it was the Sorrow's Hymn, is now changed to Sorrow's Verse, which is your legendary 600 RPM auto rifle. Then we have the Wolf Tone Draw, which is your legendary combat bow. The Itoa Draconis, which is your legendary fusion rifle, high impact. And then, yeah, we got the annual skate right with that one. Another Iron Banner weapon that is the Forge's Pledge, which is your legendary pulse rifle. It's an adaptive frame. We got the contingency plan right. The Comedian's coming back in the Nightfalls. Punching Out was the one that you kind of pointed out this week, was from this week's Nightfall, wasn't it? It was legendary sidearm. That it was called something else when we went over it last week, so I do apologise. That again is still a Suros rapid fire sidearm. The Canis Major, which is your rapid fire legendary grenade launcher. The Reed's Regret is your new Trials weapon for this season, and I do believe if you hung on to the Trials like engram from last season, you can pop this with having a chance of getting it to drop. So that's a legendary linear fusion rifle. And there is an adept version of that coming as well. The Ascendancy is your legendary rocket launcher, which is your pinnacle weapon for this season. Then we have our Hothead as well. So those are your weapons that we kind of covered last week.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff dropping the Nightfall. We get the Comedian, the Punch Out, the freaking
Not Lightfall. Season of the Lost.
Well, I'm talking about Nightfall Strikes. Like
Oh.
Shadow Price was dropping, Comedian
yeah.
is dropping, that new rocket launcher that I forgot what it was that looks like the Dragon's Breath, that's dropping. There's a whole bunch of stuff dropping inside the Nightfall this week. Like I honestly couldn't even tell what the Nightfall specific drop was until Az said, "Oh, that's the drop. Let everybody know." I'm like, "All right, cool." But yeah, no, there's just like so many weapons dropping in Nightfall this week. Crazy, absolutely crazy.
I do believe that they did put like an on-screen thing to say that it was double loot drop this week. They didn't mention it anywhere else. They haven't gone on about it, but yeah, I vaguely remember that popping up on my screen this week.
And if
So
you do Atheon this week, just remember the whole season that we had Atheon, we had the grenade launcher mod that lets you do more damage with grenades and whatnot, and whatnot. And if you don't have 1,000 voices, obviously there's a strat for that if you have it, which me and my crew are going to take advantage of. But if you don't have that, also keep in mind that your Anarchy is doing 30% less damage, and we went from one phasing Atheon to like last night. You saw how it took us an hour and some change to do the raid
Yeah.
in raid report. That was only Atheon. We did not start from scratch. Yeah.
Wow.
So, eventually I got tired of not doing enough damage, so I swapped fusion rifles because everybody was using the seasonal one from last season, which was, do you remember the name of it? The one that came with the burst. No,
Grenade launcher.
no, fusion. Fusion rifle is the Atheon strat.
Oh, the null composure.
Null composure. Everybody was using null composure, and I was like, dude, we're not doing the damage. We're doing like a fourth to a third of his health when we were doing like one phasing. So I swapped over to a Cartesian coordinate, which fires a lot faster. And my particular role has under pressure with Vorpal weapon, and then I added boss spec onto that. And by myself, I was doing 2.6 million damage, just me.
I do
So,
like the Cartesian.
Yeah, the Cartesian is definitely the go-to, I think, moving forward.
So the
Unless you
rapid
have
fire
Thousand Voice.
frame ones.
Well, I don't know about the rapid fire frame ones. This is the only one I've tested.
But the null
So-
composure is another rapid fire one.
Well, Cartesian coordinate fires a lot faster.
No, it's the same. Same
I'm telling
archetype.
you, it fires faster, dude. Like I felt it; it was firing faster.
Maybe
and
you had different perks on there to charge it faster. 'Cause you
I'm
can.
reading it. I'm reading the perks from my gun that I just told you, right?
Yes.
So, and then after I told the rest of my
Different to
crew
null
that,
composure.
they swapped over to it, and then Fusco was like, "Yeah, good call on that respawn." So it's just, it feels a hell of a lot faster. I don't know what it is, but it feels like it's firing a lot faster. And like I said, I went from doing like 1.1, 1.2 million damage to 2.5, 2.6 million after the swap. So there is a change in there. All right, something kooky is happening, right? So, however you want to justify it or whatever, I recommend Cartesian coordinate over the
Null composure.
null composure for now. And,
Okay.
and if you have 1,000 voices and you get that particle decompressor, deacceleration, whatever the hell it's called, then that would be even better with 1K voices. So anyway, that's me. I'm letting you know that way you guys aren't as frustrated as I was last night doing this stuff for hours and hours and hours. So that's kind of an inside scoop. If you haven't done Atheon since the reset, it's kind of a pain now.
Oh.
There you go.
Well, that nicely follows into some tips, tricks, guides, and builds that I have for you guys.
Nice.
So, Cheese Forever has a God mode glitch using a super slide in Ghost Mode Edition. So, check that out if you want to have a look at how to do that and maybe try it. He also has the triple magazine glitch for tripod rockets. So, shoot to loot double overflow bug. If you want to have a look at, see if you've possibly got that one. I believe it only rolls on a couple of the rocket launchers. So, check it out. As Respawn mentioned, there is a really fast way to get the Ascendancy, which is the new rocket launcher. And Jarv has a video on the fastest way to get that done. And that is through kind of doing strikes and nightfalls. So, yes, you are doing it the correct way, according to Jarv.
Yay. Call me.
Froggy has a video this week where he has an out of bounds, a Cocoon Ascendant Realm in patrol and a mysterious door. So if you want to check that out, go and have a look at his video. I will also link the Destiny 2 Showcase 2021, which has the live stream with all the bits on it. So the beginning with the hour's worth of like footage from all the content creators and just artwork and videos. It looks fantastic. And then the Luke Smith interview with Jason Jones, and then continuing into the reveal for the Witch Queen. Gaming Animal this week has two videos for you. Has the Season of the Lost Eververse calendar. So if you want to have a look at what the stuff that is coming up, he has got that for you. And he also has the Season 15 emblems that are going to be available for this season. If you kind of take a fancy to them, kind of have a look, see where you can get them from. So yeah. Drewski has a video going over the Vex Mythoclass and why the new buff to it has made it pretty insane. So if you want to have a look at that in action, check that out and see why Respawn is desperate to get into the Vault of Glass and get that done.
I really am. No, the buffs make it disgusting. Absolutely. I've already seen the damage it can do in a Nightfall with all the buffs, and it's you got to get it. You just got to get it. I'm sorry.
And then I know you mentioned this earlier with the Lucky Pants and the Last Word, and a lot of people were saying this before kind of this new season dropped that it's going to be insane, and it is. There's an insane, it does an insane amount of DPS. You can also do it, as Respawn said, with the Crimson. So I've got a video from T Glizzy going over the damage numbers for the Last Word, but you can imagine what it's going to be for the Crimson. So if you want to check that,
and Malfeasance too, if you're going against any kind of Taken, Malfeasance is going to out DPS Crimson for the Taken.
And as I pointed out last week or the week before, with the new Warlock changes that came into effect, Cool Guy has done a video just describing and showing you what you can do with, I think it's, I can't remember the name of the helmet now. Let me have a quick look. With the new Warlock helmet, the Dawn Chorus, that I believe you could get last season or the season previous, and using the Otan. I did call it using the Otan, and the insane amount of chain damage that you can get in PvP and PvE. So go and check that out. T Glizzy also has another video going over the secret emblem. Now, I'm not sure if you've seen this in your emails. I think it was just before the Witch Queen went live. There was emails going out a couple of days before saying there's a new secret emblem that you can acquire. It looks like all you have to do is get the new hand cannon in the game and then go back to your Bungie page to unlock that secret emblem. But have a look at the video. Follow
Which hand cannon? The stasis one?
Yeah, the yeah, that one.
Okay.
If
I
you are
have that stuff
interested
before.
in why they have disabled the Worm God's Caress in PvE activities, or just completely disabled it, the highest DPS in history of Destiny is covered by Iror, going over throwing hammers, shotgun, and that exotic.
Gotcha.
If you're interested in
more.
how to get your Deadeye Seal and how to bypass the glitch that is happening with the Wyverns, All the Players has a guide for you for that. It does require you going into the Shattered Throne with the Warcliffe Coil. So link your Bungie.net account to your Amazon Prime account to get the Warcliffe Coil. And there you go, that's that done. Cheese Forever has another video going over particle deconstruction, 80% debuff stacking, and triple damage for fusions. So if you're interested in working that out for maybe doing Atheon, have a look at that. He also has one covering the Radiant Dance Machines and why they have been now kind of disabled in some activities. So if you want to have a look at that, any super basically get generated with the Radiant Dance Machines in seconds. Check that out. So sorry, there are two videos for that. There's Hunter's Super in seconds and Infinite Dodge Glitch Game Breaking Radiance Dance Machines. Lucky 10p has a guide on how to farm the Judgment Hand Cannon, which is the one that you want to get from the Prophecy Dungeon. And so go check that out. Cheese Forever has a video on how to get the new mods quick and easy. And I found that you could either do it Cheese's way, or I was doing a lot of stuff on the Cosmodrome this week in just doing the bounties, going there and doing the bounties. And literally every time I opened up a chest or I completed a public event, I was getting a mod, because I think it's kind of that place where new players go to get stuff. And I think the game seems to think that you're a new player, so you need all the new mods and things. Anything that you haven't got, it kind of fills out. So I was getting a lot of stuff. But Cheese in his video kind of points out that you can literally go to the tower and do nothing apart from just spend some exotic shards if you're a veteran player that's got loads of shards. If you are interested in the god rolls for this season with the new weapons, Jarv has a video for you for that, going into full details.
I was waiting to see if you had a video about it or whatever, but probably not, because I guess people could maybe figure it out on their own or whatever. But with the new melee changes for mouse and keyboard, right, you now can specify what you want to throw, right? Yeah. Or what you want to do, right? And everybody's by default is set to auto, right? So what that means is if you have a ranged melee or whatever, right, it's going to utilize the range as the determinant of, hey, what are you gonna throw a Chinese star, or are you gonna hit, right? Well, I turned that off and I turned on at first, the charge melee. And what happens if you do that is if you throw a charged melee and then try to use your melee after that, nothing happens. It flashes like, hey, you don't have anything to throw or whatever, right? Which makes sense. And then I was like, all right. So then I binded the uncharged melee and the charged melee to the same button, but it still wasn't functioning correctly for me. In order for it to function the way that I wanted to, I had to bind charged melee first, and then bind uncharged melee second to the same bind. It will let you do that. And now, me as a hunter, I can throw my throwing knife or my shuriken at point blank range, and if I don't have one, then it will melee, which is the behavior that I want, right? So, just so you know, if that's something that you're interested in doing, if you want to throw your melee, if you want to throw your ranged melee at any point in time of your choosing, that is how you do it. You bind your charged and then your uncharged to the same binding in that order, and that's how you get it to do that behavior. There you go.
Okay. We have the ultimate compass guide from Houndish. If you are kind of confused at where to go and what to do, Houndish kind of breaks it all down in a complete guide for you. As we've mentioned on this podcast, there are some new exotics to get this week. Some of them are in Lost Sectors, and Marshix has a detailed video on how to get all the new exotics this season. And then Esoteric this week has a lot of the quest items that you might want to be searching for. So he has all of the Atlas SKU locations for week 1, the Trivial Mysteries location guide for week 1, and the Ascendant Anchor locations guide also for week 1. So if you need those, they will all be in the show notes for you to kind of pick up. And then finally, one for Respawn, because I know how much you like to make your guns glow with RGB. And these ones glow a lot faster than the last set. Boneless Revenge has a couple of shaders that you can put on your Trials of the 9 weapons, and they will make the little symbols on the side really, go really quickly, glow different RGB. So yeah. And that's it. There we go. We're finished. So it's over to Peroty to end the show in his Deacon approved ending.
Deacon requested ending.
Yes.
Let me get into the right mindset. As requested. Thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty and Nitedemon. Your hunters, no one responds in real life.
You don't have to read it like that. Just ignore what she's written.
Don't have to read it like that. I feel like I should read it like that.
Just ignore what Deacon has requested. Just
no. Give Deacon what she wants. That way she stops taking the demon away from us. Okay. Your lore scribe. Appease the white god. You should email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. Find us on Twitter at twotitans_hunter. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the same place. The name of the show, you can find us. Find all your favorite Guardians everywhere you want to be, because consoles are no longer a thing. PC, who cares? It's all cross-play. We're all one big dysfunctional family. Dysfunction!
On Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and everywhere fine podcasts are sold. Watch Nitedemon play 74,000 matches of Gambit on YouTube.
Oh yeah, you've still got that to go.
Say goodbye.
Deuces.
Bye.
So I can, now that I've told you what's next week in Destiny, I can also tell you what's happening this week at Bungie.
No.
So this week at Bungie, they dropped.
You keep jumping ahead. There was a list. I read the list to you before we started. You said, "What have you got planned for the show?" And I read it all to you, and you've taken no notice.
If you would give me the list in text form, I could follow the list, but no. So
I can give you a picture of it. It's written down.
All right. Did he read off a list to you and expect you to memorize it?
He certainly did. Like an hour ago. About an hour ago. So yeah,
no,
so go ahead.
An hour ago.
Tell the people where the lost sectors are and what I can buy at Eververse this week.
What was it we were looking for again?
Respawn, you were looking for a bow.
No, yeah, why was I looking for this bow?
For spoilers.
The
Spoilers. Oh god, my memory's gone. Sorry, I've had a couple of beers this afternoon because there's a street party going on out there.
Oh my word.
Wait, because there's a street fight or a street light?
Party.
Ah, okay. And he's slumming here with us. That's I'd say that's dedication, but we won't see you again for 6 months. So it is what
Yeah,
it is.
it's not dedication. It's owed to us. It's back pay, is what it is. Damn it. Okay, but yeah. Okay, so yeah,
You just
I was
fill in
just- could
bits
you-
of blank airspace with and so.
Well,
yeah,
no,
and,
because
yeah,
I was
yeah,
gonna.
Well, yeah.
You know what?
I'm
Yeah.
like,
How about that? Anyway,
I'm like, I'm gonna
point
cut all
is,
of that
I
out
was-
because all he's doing is Oh,
yep,
hang on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
mhm,
no,
Yep. By the way, no, I was getting somewhere with that
Okay.
douchebag.
Get there then.
Smash
Well,
that
you've
like.
made me forget.
So proud.
No, according to you, that's what you do naturally.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, but not by choice.
Stop killing the blight. Leave the blight alone. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. Leave the blight alone. Stop killing the blight. Go in the blight. Get the buff. Shoot the big orb in the sky. Leave the blight alone. Stop killing the blight. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. Go in the blight. Get the buff. Shoot the big orb in the sky. Leave the blight alone. Stop killing the blight. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. Go back in the blight. Get the buff. Shoot the big orb in the sky. Leave the blight alone. Go back in the blight. Get the buff. Shoot the big orb in the sky. Leave the blight alone. Stop killing the blight. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. The blight has done nothing to you. Go back in the blight. Get the buff. Shoot the big orb in the sky. Leave the blight alone. Stop killing the blight. The blight has done nothing to you. Go back in the blight. Get the buff. Shoot the big orb in the sky. Leave the blight alone.